Right, everyone, we are ready for Qatar GP with the World Championship on the line. But the leading driver in the championship in second place here with Max Verstappen behind. So, going to be a tasty one. Thank you, Vlaka, for sharing the stream. I can see already. I'm going to repost that. I'm going to repost that one. Thank you very much, Vlaka. I appreciate it. Saw you shared the ones yesterday as well. Yeah, it's a big one today. Big one. We could see the champion. Could see the champion. Oscar Piastri looks massively on form though at the moment, it has to be said.
Keep your head down.
Massively on form. Welcome McGurkin, welcome Jaden Vortex. I don't remember you with that username. Welcome Martin, V-Neck, Felix, Vlaka obviously in the house keeping order. Philip as well. And Beta Maturi was first in. Janus as well. Welcome everyone, welcome. So we're here for Qatar. We're here for the big one. David Beckham's in the house. Novak Djokovic, Sir David Beckham. Novak Djokovic's in the house as well. They'll be getting some fantastic hospitality, I'm sure. David Beckham's son, Brooklyn Peltz Beckham. I was covering him earlier in the year when he was driving in Formula E, in the Formula E sessions. Bit of racing running through the family. What time the race at? 50 minutes till race start. 50 minutes till race start, everyone. Oh, Tanzila in the house. Welcome back. New logo, new rebranding, new haircut. I like it. Yeah, we had some issues with the setup. Lots of things running out of battery. Equipment I need to upgrade in the off season. We'll have a big upgrade in the off season, I'm sure. Jesse to finish work. Is your work finishing a bit early, like at school when it was the World Cup? You just finished a little bit early so you could see everyone could see the England match, and you'd be so excited all day, like we're finishing early so we can see England. And then England would lose on penalties. It's a familiar tale. No equivalent of penalties in... You know what would be the equivalent of penalties in Formula 1? Let's say you finish level on points. It should be a... You have to... It's a hot lap. Like, you each get one lap to set the fastest lap time. And that's the equivalent of penalty shootout. Welcome, Dark Cloud, to membership with the DRS membership. Dark Cloud opening the DRS. Thank you so much, Dark Cloud. Everyone, please put your claps in the chat there for Dark Cloud joining the membership at DRS level. 12-month badge as well. Please put those claps in the chat. I'm going to do some chef's kiss for that one. We know how we roll. We know how we roll here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, Dark Cloud. Nice plane there. Is that your plane?
Focus on the right head.
Dark Cloud's got a personal jet. Tanzila says Norris's Max is first, Piastri second, Norris def doesn't score. It's going to be three-way equal. Yeah, I'm sure there's many different ways you can slice and dice this to get it equal into Abu Dhabi. The fact remains this: if Norris wins this race, isn't he through? Isn't he champ? Oh, have I got that wrong? Educate me, chat. If Lando wins this race, Verstappen's out. I don't know where we are with versus Piastri. Dark Cloud already getting in on the emojis there. You'd love to see it. He could be disqualified. Park saying he is champ. Tanzila saying he could be DQ'd. What are we talking? HMK, you're correct. If Lando wins, he's crowned champ. I don't know why there just isn't more discussion about that. Like, this race is simple. If Lando wins, he's champion. It's a simple one for me. Doesn't have to be complicated always. Part saying if Lando wins, that's over 7 points of Ed. Yeah, you could get all sorts of disqualifications going back, etc. I think a massive question today is going to be what is going to be the race pace of the McLarens, compensating for the ride height. And it looks like Red Bull just got it wrong at the beginning of the weekend, but are Red Bull getting faster now? What do we think? What do we think, everyone? Tanzila's new here. Does Tanzila know about the Autosport Awards yet? Tanzila, do you know about Autosport Awards? Let us know, yes or no. And keep your thoughts coming in on how you think it's going to play out today. What do you know about the Autosport, Tanzila? Autosport Awards. Anything different this year? Be cool chat. Should I get triple screens? I don't think so. What a faff. Let's get an ultra wide. V-neck 100%. The McLarens were running as low as possible yesterday. But can they change that? Can they change that in Part Ferme? Is that something you can change in Part Ferme? Yeah, we've also got that tyre limit. The Qatar tyre rules. What are we going to see on that front? Beside you, I'm Neil. Hey, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself, frankly. It's getting insulted here. Yeah, 2 mandatory pit stops. Ferrari not doing a good job. It's going to be a lot of pit loss. A lot of time in the pits today. There's been speculation that if there's a safety car situation, you could have all 20 cars jump into the pits. I'm not talking 10 cars. I'm talking 20 cars. I'm talking every team double stacking, which will be insane. So be on safety car watch today. If you see that there's going to be a safety car. By the way, I firmly believe this is here is the best way to follow this race. This is going to be the best way to follow this race, 100%. So we'll see what McLaren do on the floor side of things with the ride height. And whether they have to worry about it. Black has got it. Not the full link. We get the full link. I think I can pin it. Don Barracuda, if they go all in, that's chaos. It's going to be a madness. It's going to be a madness. Isn't it going to be like Hungary a couple of years ago when Hamilton was the only driver who didn't pit? Yeah, Ferrari. I mean, anyone remember what we were saying about Hamilton going to Ferrari? I was like, I don't know for the legacy. I don't know how it's going to work. Oh, very windy today. Much windier today, I have to say. Oh, here's KCR Kip, member for 40 months. KCR Kip, I was thinking potentially, given that this is a bit of an earlier GP, I was thinking potentially about doing some Gran Turismo stream later. What do we think, KCR Kip, about that? I've done plenty of dad duties this morning and afternoon, so I was thinking about maybe doing some... I want to do some livery lobbies, basically, where we like choose a car, people can practice in the week, and then we do livery lobbies. Obviously Spec 3 is coming as well, so... Tanzania moved to Pakistani. Where were you before? Were you in South Africa? Probably got that wrong. Welcome, MG. Widescreen stops you from getting your brake marks. Honestly, just get the ultra wide. Dark Cloud, especially coming from a very organised Mercedes team to exactly. It's a we spoke about the culture. We spoke about the culture with the fans, with the Tifosi, but also the culture in the team. It reminds me of when Ronaldo came back to Man United, having been at Real Madrid and Juventus, and he was like, I can't believe what's going on at United. This is a completely different way of doing it. I don't know, I went with South Africa. To be fair, I don't think Lewis needs 3 cars per se. Although I don't really associate him with Ferrari outside of the Formula 1, but I don't really watch a lot of marketing. I'm not really exposed to a lot of adverts. There we go. We'll roll with that one. Hell, your favourite streamer. There we go. I like it. I'm pinning it. Thank you, Vlatka. VNet, wind is a problem here. Yeah, wind is a problem. That's going to make it very difficult on the exit of turn 10 to avoid track limit penalties. I predict, first prediction coming in chat, I predict that we're going to see a situation where drivers are going to be on 2 strikes in the top 3. And you could even have something that's appealed because it's going to be inconclusive whether the car was over or not. Yeah, go for the ultra wides. I think have a look at my Sim Racing PC build guide. I might have some suggestions in the description. Welcome Kingling from USA. Part Fermi inside structure with Elkan. Yeah, Elkan's comments are a bit mad. Cars are actually going to start doing installation laps. No worries, Vlatka. We're missing one of our mods because it's their anniversary. So congratulations to Chime on their anniversary. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. Chat, we need to try and push the likes more today from the beginning of the race. I think the likes are actually more important than I thought for the stream. Because I think yesterday we got like 200 likes. I think we should have been getting to like 300, 350. So let's try and keep that tempo today. I think we can shoot for 500 likes today. I mean, arguably I should just set that target at 500. Arguably I should set the target at 500. Yeah, they're out on circuit. They're out on circuit doing installation laps. Yeah, just get a what's the resolution? 3440 ultra wide. Vortex got hired as an engineer for Haas. We got an engineer for Haas in the community. See, that's what happens. That's the caliber we have in this chat. Congratulations, working for Haas. Part of Fermi got RX 972 Oh, pretty good combo that, I think. Lots of RAM in that graphics card, I think. Gunslinger tuned in all the way from South Africa. Live view channel, bro. Hope everything's good in South Africa. The Watchalong in South Africa is very nice. What time is lights out, Bunny says? 39 minutes. 39 minutes to go. You can see the cars installation laps through the pits. Shout out to a family business like Haas. Yes, indeed. So Piastri, poleman out on circuit. Norris on circuit 2. Going to be one of the most critical starts in Formula 1 of the entire season. Hamilton and Leclerc, that Ferrari just... If you look at some of the onboards, it looks like me driving, frankly. Gasly, what a great qualifying result for Gasly in P9, out-qualifying both Ferraris. No lag here, no drop frames here, might be at your end. I pay for a dedicated internet connection for these streams. We're professional. That's why we've been nominated, I'm sure. The sheer professionalism. Alfonso, P8, good qualifying. Was looking good in the sprint as well. Carlos Sainz. Interestingly, Albon's so off the pace, but Carlos Sainz in P7. Hajar, surely right up there for Rookie of the Year, everyone. Surely Isaac Hajar. Anyone using butt kickers with the PS? People have said it before about using a laptop and stuff. Looks like lots of people having fun in the grandstands in Qatar. I'm sure it's nice and warm. Yeah, air temp 24 degrees in the evening. Very nice and warm in Qatar. Behrman P13. Not fantastic for Behrman, but he'll be looking to get into the points. Yeah, Charles Leclerc with a 720 no-scope spin yesterday. Quite impressive. McGurk, I thought I watched your PMR review earlier. I thought it was comprehensive. Yeah, I just thought I just like no nonsense it. Given we spent 20 hours on the game, so I don't think you get more dense review of Project Motor Racing than that in 8 minutes. You could be streaming the race live on Discord. Join our Discord. www.simracingdiscord.com. Welcome Briarwood as well. VNet, my little bet looking good. Man U and Liverpool for double. Are you doing some mad accumulator with Hamilton to get on the podium here as well? Vortex wants some predictions in chat. Chat, I want to see some predictions too. Let's not beat around the bush. I want to see some predictions. I am gonna say Verstappen is P2 by the end of lap 1. Verstappen P2 by the end of lap 1. That's what I'm gonna go with. What do you think, chat? Some Mercedes cars on the installation laps. What if Russell attacks Oscar and Norris? The Mercedes look quick here. By the way, there's no love lost between Russell and Norris. It was very tetchy yesterday between Russell and Norris. Lando being a bit sulky towards George Russell. Brian was going to say Piastri, Verstappen, Norris. Piastri, Verstappen, Norris. If it finishes like that, is Verstappen still in the hunt? Is Verstappen still in the hunt in Abu Dhabi? Because if Verstappen's in the hunt, for Verstappen to have taken this to the last race of the season, when his teammates this season, because we forget he's had 2. By the way, I hear it's basically confirmed Hajar is going to be at Red Bull next season. Hajar will be in the Red Bull next season. My sources say it's basically confirmed. But they're going to announce it. They're not going to announce it this weekend. Fabian says Verstappen P1, Piastri P2 after lap 1. That's big. Welcome Hellcat. Vortex, I think Antonelli on 3rd, Max 2nd, Norris on 1st. Was Piastri falling backwards then? You've got to remember, and I've been in championship fights in the last rounds of the season. When you're in a championship fight, and you know that if you crash out, you're done. But if you get a P3 or a P4, you're okay. You tend to gravitate towards a P3 or P4 by your actions. And what that I mean is, if you're in a side-by-side battle with someone, whereas earlier in the season, you'd race them as hard as possible, at the end, you'll be like, it's just not worth it. I'll just give them more space. And sometimes that can cause more problems than you think, because you end up squeezing out into someone else, or then someone else tries to follow that person through. So the best way to race is 100% as hard as possible. When you start second-guessing it, bad things can happen. So you have to see what's the mentality between Piastri and Norris here. You think there's probably more pressure on Norris because he's more experienced. There's also a lot of randomness, a lot of luck. Jonesy thinks Red Bull will hire Kireth for a second seat. I mean, that would be unprecedented. To go from potentially Creator of the Year in the Autosport Awards to then Rookie of the Year, then next year, I don't think has been done before. I don't think anyone's gone Creator of the Year to Rookie of the Year. You let me know. Ruben saying Lindblad. Lindblad going to come in the RB.
Okay, crack on.
Akil 100% sure McLaren will lose the position in turn 1. Felix Runner likes to stream. I don't know. Should I change it to 500? Let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like if I change it to 500. I'm just worried that it's going to be too... I'm worried it's going to be too much. But I totally feel like we should be hitting 500. That's what it looks like. I can also do a goal here. Oh, it defaults 10 super chats. So I'm going to do a goal of 1 super chat. We're going to use all the features. All the features. Let me know if that looks particularly ugly or not. Right. Don Barracuda, think Max thinks that way. No, I don't think Max thinks that way at all. And I think Max also doesn't have a lot to lose here. Martin first, Max second, Russell third, Alfonso. You're going Alfonso in P3? Well, that would be extraordinary. Apart from Max having nothing to lose. Yep. Manifestation very powerful. Can you manifest things for other people though? Can Verstappen manifest that Norris is going to send it on Piastri? They're both going to run wide. I guess we had less exciting ends of it was always going to be, I think, interesting between Piastri and Lando, but I think Max keeping it in the mix has made it more exciting. Yeah, it's been a good season, I think. We're a simple bunch and terrified of a near empty goal. Yeah, it's almost like it feels like there's no point. It might feel like we're never going to achieve 500 likes, but that is the authentic goal. I would be very happy with that. Welcome, Crazy Aid. Good to see you. What do you think of PMR? I think it's a fun game. I don't think it's for everyone, though. I think they massively overhyped it. It's like, if I was PMR in this stream, I'd be saying stuff like, this is going to be the race of the season. It's going to be just the most dramatic race all the way through. The new two-stop thing is just going to be non-stop drive. I was like, no. I think the start is going to be very exciting. Then we don't know. So I'm not like a mad hype merchant, but it could be. It seems like hype merchants, that's the way you get traction. 57 laps, says it at the top. And track limits. I think, is it 3 strikes and you're out on the track limits? Is it 3 strikes and you're out? Or is it third strike and then a warning? But I think it's going to be absolutely critical turn 10. We've been seeing drivers get penalties on the entry to turn 10 because they're so worried about getting a penalty on the exit. And obviously when you're overtaking, there's going to be lots of potential overtaking over the curbs as well. The curbs here are pretty savage. It's really, for me, this is really an endurance track. Right, Vortex got a full prediction, P1 to P20. Norris, Verstappen, Antonelli, Piastri. So you're going, Lando's going to win the championship today. Russell, Sainz, Hajar, Alfonso, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Behrman, Albon, Ocon, Tsunoda, Stroll, Bortoleto, Colapinto, and you're going Leclerc. Where's Hamilton? You just missed out Hamilton, bro. The 8-time world champion. Just doesn't exist or something. Okay, so we are just 28 minutes away now till the start of the GP, and the cars will be on the grid for the great and the good of the grid walks. Hellcat saying, come on, Lando. There's some great time in the stream yesterday where everyone just supporting their favourite driver. So Piastri's 22 points behind Lando, and Verstappen's 3 points behind. Meanwhile, George Russell's 70 points behind. It's technically possible for George Russell to come second in the championship here. Just 20 points behind Lando. It's still possible for Russell to come second. Should we have open wheel cars in Project Motor Racing? Yes, I think so. Hamilton not going to race? That's a big statement. Hang on, how are you explaining that? What's going to happen to Lewis Hamilton? I don't know why Sky are saying that the grid is provisional. Should hope not at this late stage. McGurkin, I think apart from a couple of decent races, the points tally has been doing most of the legwork as to what has otherwise been quite a dull season of actual racing. I think McLaren have purportedly let the drivers race, but also really they haven't let the drivers race, if you know what I mean. So Lewis to Aston. Lewis to Aston. Aston is where big careers go, world champions go to die, unfortunately. Bortoleto taking a five-place grid penalty. Colapinto will be starting from the pits. Sonoda all the way back in P15. The Red Bull second seat is where young, promising drivers go to die, I think. Here in Qatar. I'm surprised they don't get more environmental protests at these Middle East races from like people who don't like fossil fuels. It would be such a big statement. I'm just surprised that we've never seen one. Like a supporter running on the grid or something. Even when I was in Berlin Formula E a few years ago. Sky Sports rendezvousing with Kevin Hart for their pre-arranged interview. It's made to look chaotic, but it's not. It's all very carefully coordinated. I don't know what Kevin Hart is saying. He's probably making some light-hearted jokes. Maybe about being small or something. Lewis to RB. Can you imagine Lewis? That is such a parallel universe moment. If Lewis had been in the second RB seat this season, that would be crazy. Rio Ferdinand, who I think moved out to the Middle East. Steven Gerrard, who also spent time in the Middle East. Lots of the Middle East expats. They love it out there. Part Fermi, does safety car and VSC counting for 25 lap rules? I'm not sure on the specifics, actually. I'm not sure how much I rate Rio Ferdinand's insight, to be honest. Steven Gerrard. What Saudi team did he join? Was it El Fati? Alright, Vortex. Part of, yes, I don't know. Yeah, Kevin Hart's there. There's lots of celebrities on the grid at this one, for sure. And we're just 24 minutes away from the start of the Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz Sr. on the grid. Been doing Dakar till very recently. What a interesting story it would have been if Carlos Sainz Jr. had gone to WRC, as WRC really has fallen off a cliff in terms of popularity. King Blin says Spain will win. Vortex, hot take, Max deserves championship, but Lewis deserved Abu Dhabi. Wow. Abu Dhabi 2021. I'm sure there's still more to come out from that. Let's put it like that. It's too fresh. It's too fresh for everything to come out because there's lots of people still in the sport. But I think in 10, 15, 20 years' time, I think stuff will come out. People will want to write their books and get their royalties. In fact, books might not exist by then. Thanks, King Bling. The Mercedes looks so good, I have to say. These Formula 1 cars, I don't think they get enough credit for looking so good. No one says about this generation like they're really good looking Formula 1 cars. Yes, they're big, but they're very good looking cars in my opinion. Yeah, to Kimi Antonelli starting P5. Right behind Max Verstappen. Will Kimi go for a bit of bowling into Verstappen? And will Verstappen not be so chilled about it like he was in Austria? We'll see. It's a real... They've really brought all the celebrities out on the grid this time around. Influencers as well. And Red Bull are all standing behind the wing, I think, of Verstappen's car. So maybe there's something they want to hide behind Verstappen's car. We've seen Aston Martin do that from time to time as well. Martin Brundle's found someone else. I don't know who they are. I'm not really clued up with the celebrities, to be honest. or out of touch. Maya Jamer, TV presenter and radio DJ. Well, I don't watch TV and I don't listen to the radio, so that explains it. Who makes the real American supercar? Corvette? Corvette C8? Felix, incredibly hot take here. I'm all right with 2021, but I think Hamilton does deserve to have the most World Drivers' Championship, which I think is true, as Schumacher doesn't deserve 7. Whoa. You're talking about versus Damon Hill. Vortex, I think Tsunoda is going to pull out a kamikaze. Well, I think Tsunoda could go bowling. Welcome, Simba, member for 33 months. What's Simba racing on at the moment? So I think Kimi could go bowling. I think Tsunoda is way too far back. Like, this is not like the sprint race. Verstappen really needed Tsunoda a lot closer at the front. Part FOMO 2021, they both deserve the title. To be honest, that would be incredible. If they'd shared that title, that would have been quite interesting and equitable. Don't know if anyone's seen those two pole vaulters or high jumpers who they ended up sharing the Olympic gold medal. That would have been really cool. I know it goes to count back and everything, but if they had finished equal on points... Didn't Max win by half a point or something? If they'd finished equal on points, I think that would have been a very special outcome, and also a little bit of a changing of the guard. Welcome, B-Nods. No one paying his TVG till April. Is he still working for the Saudi team? Is he on garden leave or something? Aston Martin safety car here. Imagine you have a Mercedes safety car, right? Because they swap between the Mercedes and the Aston. Imagine you have a Mercedes safety car and the safety car has an issue when it's driving, and that means they need to bring out another safety car. And therefore, that helps Mercedes. Can you imagine the optics of that? It's possible to happen. Gordon Ramsay in town. Gordon Ramsay's had some work done, I think. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say? I don't think it's all natural.
Focus on the right head.
Gordon Ramsay looks like he's de-aging, and I just don't think that's how the human body works naturally. No, I'm saying there could be a scenario, let's say, where... Okay, I'll tell you the scenario. 2021 Abu Dhabi. Let's say the safety car is due to come in next lap, okay? And then that means Max is going to be on fresher tyres. But let's say the Mercedes safety car breaks down, and therefore they have to continue under, like, safety car procedure, and it's the last lap of the race, and Lewis wins. Can you imagine the optics of it? See, this is what goes through my brain. This is what my brain immediately thinks of when I see situations like an Aston Martin safety car in a Formula 1 race where Aston Martin are also one of the competitors. It's like you can't have a... I know it's not exactly the same thing, but you can't have a World Cup football match between England and France and the referee's English for obvious reasons. But you can have a Formula 1 race where Aston Martin are one of the teams and you can have an Aston Martin safety car. Which is quite interesting. It's the same in Formula E with Porsche safety car. Oh my days, that dude from FIFA's here. The FIFA dude is here. I'm liking this less and less, the kind of celebrity lineup. It's race brain. You're real. Yeah, my brain's always like... It's like how I rated Lance Stroll for just ignoring the sprint race and doing a free practice session. The FIFA dude's here. You know, like the dude is here. Who's driving the safety car today? It might be my friend, Bruno Carrera. I haven't published an interview with Bruno Carrera. I'll have to I've got so much stuff to publish. I just need, when I get more, when things go a little bit back to normal, I'll be able to go through a lot of motorsport videos. No, the safety car should be like a Honda. Well, it can't be a Honda. The safety car should be like a Peugeot. Safety car should be a Peugeot. Parfait, what would F1 be without controversial decisions? Yeah, exactly. That is the history of F1, and it's interesting because the sport itself would say, obviously we're not corrupt. Obviously we have full integrity. But you're right. The history of F1 completely counters that. In reality, has all been about controversy and breaking the rules, etc. So there's a real juxtaposition with the way that the sport presents itself and says there's no room for corruption, there's no way to break the rules and get away with it. But actually, everyone, so it's a two-faced thing. Where they can't acknowledge it, because when people do break the rules, they don't admit they've broken the rules. They say they were exploiting a loophole. So it's like they all talk cross-purpose to each other. Mohammed Ben Sulayem in town. Yeah, I think Peugeot, I'll lend my Peugeot RCZ. It's fast enough. Question is it problematic if the safety car's too fast? Because if so, maybe the Peugeot RCZ is kind of out of the question, and maybe that's why they've chosen Aston Martin. I don't know. We could always de-restrict, we could always restrict my Peugeot RCZ. Or we could put it on slower tyres or something, just to try and slow it down. Peugeot would break down, need a safety car for a safety car. The RCZ is quite reliable. Okay, what happens next year when Aston Martin will be using Honda engines? Their safety car currently uses a Mercedes. Yeah, I don't even know how it's going to be biased anymore. Like, you're going to have an Aston Martin with a Mercedes engine. I don't know how that's going to work. Renault Twingo. Welcome, sold out. Bugatti Bolide. Yeah, maybe a Bugatti. Maybe Pagani. Oh my goodness, the Pagani safety car. Woo. That, now we're talking. Koenigsegg. Get a Koenigsegg safety car. Use a Hellcat. Have I seen the new Aston Super Grand? I'll have a look. I'll have a look. Should I be considering it as a daily driver? Chat, we're just 14 minutes away. We're 14 minutes away. Let's get to 10% on like front. Let's get 9 more likes in there. If you haven't liked the stream, hit the like button right now. Let's get to 10%. Apollo Gumper. Get a WEC car as a safety car. Get a hypercar. Get the Glickenhaus as a safety car. Get the Glickenhaus 007. LFA. Yeah, LFA is allowed. There's no conflict there. Get the Floyd Van Wall. Felix, the Peugeot probably drives nice. I mean, it's difficult to find a car that drives better than the Peugeot, to be honest. We're going to be down to a very small list if that's the criteria of cars that drive better than the Peugeot. Ben Collins on the grid. He's probably taking notes of open wheel racing, so we can get it into Project Motor Racing too. And then it will handle like F1 Clash, presumably. Get the Batmobile. Batmobile's a great shout. Knight Rider. What about the Flintstone one? Get the Flintstone car as a safety car. I doubt they can move to full electric because of Formula E. Oh yeah, Bugatti won't work. No, but Bugatti's owned by Rimac now. Is Rimac in that group? Amarativ, Oscar P1 staying Abu Dhabi. Lando P3 and P4 makes Oscar Verstappen. Yeah, you're watching that. Lando Norris's dad is on the grid. He spent a fortune of his fortune to get Lando in this position. Lando's out of the car still with 12 minutes to go. Piastri's putting on his balaclava. Who else could be the safety car? What about the, not the Batmobile, but the Bat bicycle from the Batman movies? You could get a drone. Just get like a DJI drone as a safety car. You could have a very fast runner. You could get like a marathon runner as a safety car. You could get one of those illegal de-restricted e-bikes. You could get a delivery driver on a de-restricted e-bike as the safety car. Because they are very fast. You could get that bicycle they have in cycling in the Kireth. That dude as a safety car. Welcome, Rahat. Yeah, let us know if you're watching live as well. Let's see who has the tyres and the skill. Yeah, who's gonna have the luck of the draw as well. Lamborghini Urus doesn't count because it's part of the Audi group and Audi are going to be on the grid. It could have worked until it could work today. Don't you also need a seat for the medical guy? Sit on the back of the bicycle. They could have a tag team, yeah. You could have the USA 4x400 meter relay team. And like, you got the first dude goes up to turn 3, and then the next dude, like sectors. Lambo wants nothing to... It doesn't have a choice now. We're procuring it as a safety car. It can't stop us from buying a Urus and running it as a safety car. They literally... They don't have a say in the matter. We control it. So Lando needs to outscore Piastri by 4 points and finish ahead of Verstappen to become champion. Verstappen's still out of the car with his hat on. Not in the car yet. Meanwhile, Piastri's got his helmet on. Lando's putting his balaclava on. I think getting his drink tube in there as well, potentially. We're very close, everyone, to the start of the GP. 4 more likes will get us 10% of the way there. There's 9 minutes to go till the start. Sky Sports is sponsored by Audi. So there's... Hang on, there's all... You know what? Should I reach out to one of the teams? And should I get these streams sponsored? Why can't we be sponsored by Audi? This stream is brought to you by Audi. What do we think? Formula J likes it. Yeah. Chat, does anyone have any connections with Formula 1? In fact, our friend here works for Haas. I'll be happily sponsored by Haas. I'll do a very tasteful Haas, like, red, white and black thing. Why can't Audi be sponsored by you? I like your style. You're asking... See that? You're like Bill Gates. Flipping the conversation upside down. Exactly. Why can't we be on the Audi? Nah, it's going to be more than $5. Keep the $5. It's the connections we need. Fiat 500 safety car. Yeah, we could stream it from an Audi. I mean, we could take an RS5. We could take an RS4 off their hands. We could take an RS6. We could take an Audi A8. We could take, you know, so they don't have to worry about it, and we could stream from the A8. It's big enough. I think that has to be our aim, everyone. We have to try and get sponsored by... Is it going to be Audi then for sure? Or Mercedes? We got on the Mercedes wheel. I don't know if you should involve yourself with Audi, but I think that it doesn't matter for sponsorship purposes. It's just the glamour. It's the glamour. I would have very happily been sponsored by Minardi back in the day. We can be the official streamer of a team. This is making so much sense. Why haven't I done this. Okay, chat, if I reach, in the off-season, if I reach out to teams and say, I'd like to be your official stream, I'm an Autosport nominated Creator of the Year, and I'd like to offer these streams, we could do a partnership, which team should I reach out to? What would be the dream team? Because you're a banger at Peugeot, we're saying I could do a clause in the contract where I don't mention Peugeot for 2 hours. Ferrari. This is how Lewis Hamilton got the job at Ferrari. He just reached out. Hi, I'm a 7 times world champion, and I'd be happy to offer my services for you. Right, we're getting very close, everyone. Just 6 minutes to go. McGurkin thinks he'll struggle. McGurkin, we got the Pastri Express. We've already been sponsored by Peroni on these streams. That's pretty big. The 0.0%. It's not a big step from Peroni to Ferrari F1, is it? Williams. But what team? Yeah. What team? I think Haas would be great. I think Haas. Shield mode activated. Yeah, I just forget though. I'd end up wearing like the McLaren hoodie. Aston. Yeah, Aston. I think we could represent Aston. We turn the light, the colour of the brand. There's so much we could do with the branding here. Gunslinger says Team Haas. I feel like Haas. I feel Haas. But also Audi. Imagine this seat becomes an Audi seat with the 4 rings. Chat, if anyone's got those connections, slide into the DMs. We'll make it happen. The iron is hot now because I'm nominated. Right, we're just 5 minutes away from the start of the Qatar GP, everyone. Just 5 minutes to go. Risk of rain is 0%. I mean, we just do a sticker. It's like we got the Logitech sticker here and this sticker. We just sticker it. But it'd still be a GT Mega seat. These streams are essentially sponsored by GT Mega, really, aren't they? Because I'm on a GT Mega seat. And also Coca-Cola. Formula knows a guy bought a Lotus F1 jersey. That sounds like a very warm lead. If you can hunt that one down. McGurk said Ferrari because I don't know if you remember you. I keep forgetting I have driven a Ferrari GT car. I keep forgetting to just even remember it, let alone bring it up. Frankly. Welcome, Lash. Chat. Let's do a nations check. Let's do a nations check. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. I'm going to put it in the chat. You guys are going to beat me.
Okay, crack on.
That didn't sound good. Wales, USA coming in. Black says Coca-Cola great. Dark Cloud Peugeot to McLaren. Arguably a downgrade. King from USA, Martin Netherlands. Flacco Croatia, Videt USA. It's more USA today. Yesterday was more Netherlands. Bradley Valencia, Rodney from Malawi. Cited from South Africa. Jacob from the basement. Akil from Sri Lanka. Dark Cloud Australia this week. Keep them coming in, everyone. Gunslinger South Africa. Sold out Netherlands, but soon Southeast Asia. Got a very international chat. Lars says, thank you for your expert commentary. Even though Max is going to give you the surprise of your life today. We will see. We will see. Abstaff from the Netherlands. Still strong in the Netherlands here. Still strong in the Netherlands. Hellcat from the UK. Golden as an astronaut. So I'm watching from the moon. No limit. Kireth got my RS50 today. Couldn't be happier. yeah, hopefully it works for you on those settings. I think it's a great product, and I've had one person said they got disconnects, but it sounds like it might have been a dodgy external power supply or something, but otherwise I haven't really heard any issues, which is great. Manic Lando champ today. Two minutes to go, everyone. Largest Dutch bit watching from Thailand. 2 minutes to go. Right, this is going to be an exciting turn one, lap one, I think. Welcome, Yolanda Vesti. Good to see you. Let's keep those lights pumping in. Let's keep the tempo up today on the light front. Keep the activity high as George Russell is probably thinking where he's going to send it. Max Verstappen looked like he was just glancing there at Lando Norris. He's in the car also. Lando, meanwhile, it's great to see some of these clearer visors in the lights. You can see the eyes of the drivers. It's pretty cool. Remember when before Singapore, there were not any night races, and now there's a ton of night races. I think wasn't even Qatar not a night race at the beginning. Certainly Bahrain wasn't. Blacker, 2 minutes to go, and I've been so nervous since yesterday. It's almost time. It's almost time. Besides, I feel like this race will be a banger with high stakes. And Lars says you're 85% correct if you say Norris is going to win the championship. As you can see on the timing screen, the cars are underway on the formation lap. I will be a little bit behind you, as always. But I will catch up. I will let you know how I see it. Welcome, Francois Menard, for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button right now. Definitely don't want to miss out. Welcome, Winfred. Yolanda, yesterday's all races were 2 o'clock local time. Now, this one is 7 o'clock local time. They just run at any old time. Manic ordered the SimuQ Pro. Oh, the SimuQ 2 Pro. I think you're going to like that. I rate that going for SimuQ 2 Pro. Did you get it from SimuCube or Asher? Or I think they were both 25% off, right? It's the base I'm using at the moment, so respect for that. Gunslinger says, my nerves are cooking. Yes, I know. It's pretty nervous. It's pretty nervous. As Piastri is going to be taking his grid slot. Remember, Cola Pinto is going to dive into the pits. So that, Kireth, name the top 3 great iconic races. I'm going to go Senna. I'm going to go Hamilton. I'm going to go Verstappen. That's my personal top 3. Senna for me because he's a bit of a mystique. He was before my time, so I've seen the videos. Hamilton because I think he was really of my time. And I'm going to go Verstappen because I feel of the current and the future, what he's doing right now. That means that Schumacher misses out. But it was between Hamilton and Schumacher for me. Oh, thanks, Todd. That'd be very nice. McGurkin's got parenting to do. Good luck. Who do you think is going to win this race? I think Oscar Piastri is going to win this race. Famous last words. Let me know in the chat right now who you think is going to win the race. Let's put it out there. Let's be transparent. I'm saying Oscar Piastri. Who are you saying? Lars, you're the best watch-along commentator I've ever seen. If you want to vote for me, just hit the pinned link in the comments. For Kireth, I appreciate it, my friend. Go on. I think Hamilton isn't racing today. He's just going to focus on 26. Ah, Beckham and Gary Neville together. Gary Neville was with Mercedes yesterday, but now they're both with McLaren. Gary Neville, the one-club man, being exposed these days for just basically never negotiating his contract and being massively underpaid, is now switching teams. Right, chat, I'm going to call it as I see it. I'm going to call it as I see it. Are we ready? I'm going to call it as I see it. Because Oscar Piastri takes his grid slot at the front. Lando Norris P2 on the inside. Max Verstappen lines up behind Piastri. So remember, if Piastri gets a good run and Max gets a good run, they'll both just be on the outside line ahead of Lando. So will Lando try and chop across behind Oscar? We will see. Colapinto has dived into the pits. I'm going to call it as I see it. I'll just be a little bit behind you. Sonoda is taking his grid slot as I see it. And Bortoletto at the back, who had that 5-place grid penalty, takes his slot as I see it. Red lights flashing on all of the back of the cars. The safety car, Aston Martin DBX, pulls in. And the marshal waves the green flag behind. They're happy. The lights go 1, 2, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. Lights go out. Quick lights out. It's a good start from Oscar. It's a good start from Max as well. Max is already alongside Lando Norris going into turn 1. Is he going to sweep on the outside? Yes, as I predicted. Max Verstappen already into P2. Now, Lando Norris doesn't really fight it too much. It almost seems like he thought that might happen, and he just slots back into P3. I feel like from the body language there, Lando knew that was going to happen. Now, Lando tries to get a move back on Verstappen a few corners after, but he doesn't do it. I think he's going to settle in P3 with George Russell behind. I feel like Antonelli... No, it's Antonelli behind. George Russell's lost out massively. George Russell looks like he might have a bit of damage potentially. And Alfonso's up to P6. Carlos Sainz in P5. Russell's all the way down in P7. This is good news for Max Verstappen because he's not going to have George Russell all over the back of him. Surely some kind of like front wing damage there for Russell, losing so many positions going down from, was it P4 all the way down to P7. Hajar in P8. Lewis Hamilton, meanwhile, battling with Liam Lawson but gets squeezed out. Can't quite get past. Sonoda in P16. Albon in P17. Lance Stroll P18. Bortoletto P19. And Colapinto P20. Let's go back to the standings now. Yeah, you can see Verstappen up to P2. Exactly as we saw, I think, in Zandvoort and many other races this season. You've been better off starting in P3 than P2. No one's speaking about it because I think it's a bit embarrassing for Formula 1. But with the way the cars work here, it's just sometimes better to be in P3 than P2. And that's where Max Verstappen finds himself here. And that means that Piastri is getting even more points on Lando Norris. Meanwhile, Kimi Antonelli is within a second of Lando here. And DRS has just been enabled. And Carlos Sainz up to P5, getting past Alfonso, and George Russell seems really out of position. Yeah, P2 just gets blocked by P1. They can't chop across because P3 is already there. So Kimi Antonelli is within a second of Lando Norris, and Lando's not in the DRS. So keep an eye on Kimi here. He was 9 tenths behind. Is he activating DRS? Yes, he is. And he's about 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers faster down the straight, it seemed to be, potentially, and gained half a second. So Kimi Antonelli could be a protagonist here. He's already taken out Max Verstappen earlier in the season in Austria. Carlos Sainz in the Williams. Got one Williams in P5, one Williams down in 17th. Dark Cloud saying go Anthony. Yes, Sonoda is down a position. Albon's down 3. No one jumped into the pits, but something must have happened with George Russell there. Meanwhile, Oscar Piastri, fastest lap of anyone on turn 1. I mean, he has no dirty air ahead of him, so you might expect that. 27.1. Piastri needs to check out here. I think it could be an exciting GP. There's lots of battling going on in the midfield, by the way. Lots of battling going on around Gasly. Gasly is past Hulkenberg. Gasly is looks like he's got something under his car though. There's lots of sparking going on from Pierre Gasly. Something doesn't look right there. Last thing I told you, Norris doesn't have a cool head. Max does. Golden Lando going to bottle it. To me, as a racing driver, from the body language, it seemed like Norris was not going to fight it with Verstappen and was going to slot in P3. And that might be because McLaren know they just have better race pace than Verstappen, and they'll just undercut him or something. But to me, that seemed like Lando wasn't fighting it. Lando knew that was going to happen. And Lando allowed it to happen. Sold out. Oh, yeah, that'd be amazing, sold out. We'll get that in the background here. It's completely up to you, but that would be absolutely amazing. Lahai says Norris is probably fine with this. I agree. I agree with you 100%. I think Norris might even take this result as it stands. But Kimi Antonelli is still within a second. Antonelli might spoil the party. Antonelli thinks he, is a bit on a different wavelength. But if we didn't have the 25 lap rule, things would be a bit more unknown, I would say, in terms of strategy here. Meanwhile, I didn't mention, but Hülkenberg and Hamilton on a soft tyre. So what kind of strategy are they going to be doing? Yeah, let's see if Antonelli's going to keep pressure on, because Antonelli has nothing to lose here. Mercedes, it seems, are probably going to win the Constructors' Championship. I think as it stands here, they'd win the Constructors' Championship right now. Oh, sorry, not win. They're going to beat Red Bull for second. But Antonelli, I think, will really want this podium. So I think Antonelli is in a position where he probably doesn't have a lot to lose at all. Let's see. Welcome cars with Brad. Hungelbrag in Maldives. Skynet working with VPN. Your only way to watch, listen to race. Welcome cars with Brad. Also Brad with cars, depending on your perspective, I guess. Football Lando can try and get a match in the pit stops. Yeah, will we actually see some exciting strategy? I'm not sure. I tried to read a Twitter post from Ruth Buscombe, but unfortunately it was entirely ChatGPT written, so I couldn't glean much from it, which was a shame, because she's very talented. So Piastri P1, he is currently checking out 2.3 seconds. Verstappen is 2 seconds ahead of Lando, but Lando is less than a second ahead of Kimi Antonelli. What about Alfonso as well? Has he got decent pace here? He's been looking strong all weekend. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc loses out to Hülkenberg down the pit straight. Hülkenberg with a great move. He squeezes Leclerc on the exit, and Leclerc almost loses out to Behrman as well. That Ferrari does not look in a good position. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly will have already picked up a track limit warning there because of running wide. He definitely has something under the car, or there's been some damage to the floor. Something looks like it's falling off and is scraping and sparking everywhere. Golden, this is unprecedented and unheard of. What is unprecedented and unheard of? Let me know. Sounds exciting. Apparently the analysis on the reaction time is that Verstappen reacted a little bit faster than Lando Norris. Kosha says it's Alfonso, not Alonso. Yep, I think we got that right. So Piastri seems to be maintaining the gap now. It was Max Verstappen with the fastest lap. Verstappen have a quite extreme balance shift right to left-hand corners. Let's see if that presents an issue for Verstappen. Hopefully not. For his sake, anyway. And Norris has now gapped Antonelli a little bit. Maybe some warming up of the tyres to do as they settle into this first stint. Cited, it looks like Sauber has more engine power than Ferrari. That's embarrassing, Ferrari, considering that Sauber has a Ferrari engine in it. Sauber just know how to tweak it. It's like aftermarket graphics cards. It's like he's got the Ferrari Wind Force engine or something. Yeah, Verstappen ahead of Lando, but Lando looks like he's coming back at it. Let's see. Verstappen with the fastest lap last time, but they're pretty close from the top three. Antonelli, though, was half a second off. So maybe the Mercedes will be dropping off a little bit. Meanwhile, Russell is going to be trying to get past Alfonso here, and then Carlos Sainz. Hajar running nicely in P8 at the moment. Footy, everyone just following each other around. That kind of is the essence of Formula 1 and kind of any motorsport. Lahai is going to go down to Abu Dhabi with 8 points to spare for Norris this way. I don't know the exact differences. I'll let you know when I see them. But yes, Norris has just been, at this rate, is bleeding points this weekend. Max losing in the third sector. We'll keep an eye on that. You can see that Norris was faster than Verstappen last time around. Yellow flag is out on circuit. Hülkenberg's had an issue. This could be a safety car. Hülkenberg's had an issue. Has he spun out? Safety car is out. The Aston Martin safety car is out. Will we see any pit stops here? The 25 lap rule. Will we see a pit stop here? Turn it into a 3-stop race. I wonder if Hülkenberg got some oversteer on the exit of turn 1. Oh, big crash for Hülkenberg. Big crash. There's styrofoam everywhere. He's hit a brake board. And the right rear tyre is missing on Hülkenberg's car. I wonder if he was battling with Charles Leclerc. How's Leclerc doing? Or did something come off Gasly's car? Something may have come off Gasly's car. Gasly's got a front left puncture, it seems, as well. Something's gone very wrong under the Alpine there. So Gasly will be coming in. Hülkenberg's had a decent crash. Someone is pitting. Is it Sainz pitting? Who's got into the pits? Verstappen's pitted everyone. This is crazy. Verstappen is in the pits. And I have a feeling Nico Hülkenberg may have run over a curb and got a mad bit of oversteer. That would be my hunch. That would be my hunch. We will see. But Verstappen pitting. In fact, everyone pitting apart from Piastri and Lando. Have McLaren messed this up? Verstappen's behind Ocon. So that's gonna... Verstappen would have got a completely free pit stop if it wasn't for Ocon. But I don't think this will matter. Because I think Verstappen will clear Ocon pretty much immediately. So it's not as bad as it looks. But Verstappen basically just got a free pit stop in there. And I think Mercedes double stacked. In fact, plenty of teams double stacked. And when McLaren caught napping... Yes, everyone... We did see basically probably about 16 cars come into the pits. Pretty sure Ferrari double stacked as well. And a lot of people going on to fresh mediums now. Is it because they can go long on mediums now and they can do a soft stint at the end? Does this allow you to do a soft stint at the end, chat? Footy say McLaren of fools. Dark Clouds for a great post. Yeah, that's their class. This is the same situation with Hamilton 2021. All my days. And McLaren didn't split it either. If I was Lando there, I think I may well have pitted. When I saw Verstappen go in, I almost may instinctively have gone like, I'm going to come in. Chat, I don't think this is good news for McLaren. I've got to be honest. I've got to be honest here. So what happened with Hülkenberg? He was behind Gasly, so I wonder if something did come off Gasly's car. Oh, Gasly defended into turn one. Hülkenberg on the outside. Oh, and Gasly understeered a little bit. And it wasn't actually a massive crash, but I think it took off Hülkenberg's right rear tyre. As Gasly just understeered. Yeah. So Gasly's been in the wars here. Safety car still out. McLaren's not pitting. Now Ocon pits. Ocon pits here. So Ocon, they admit they made a mistake. And that unleashes... This is like Abu Dhabi all over again. This is Abu Dhabi all over again. This is Abu Dhabi Part 2, everyone. This is Abu Dhabi 2025. Yeah, Hülkenberg would be very frustrated there because Hülkenberg was on for a great race. This is Abu Dhabi. So Verstappen is going to be all over the McLaren's on restart, and he's just got a completely free stop. No, he hasn't. He's lost out to Lando. He's lost out to Lando. Ocon with a 5-second time penalty. Or did he get that after he'd pitted? So he'll take in the next pit stop. He's decided to give up a position to Lando and get a pit stop in. So if he does 25 laps here... Ooh. Norris saying should have just followed him in if we knew the car head was staying out. Norris saying that they have lost all of their flexibility for the end of the race. Hang on a second. What, chat? Someone remind. How is this? Yeah, this is Abu Dhabi. How is this working with the tyre change rule? Because there's only 49 laps to go. This is fantastic news for Verstappen. Is it fantastic news for Verstappen? Because Piastri and Norris have done 8 laps on their tyres. Welcome, Intuition. Good to have you here. Ocon moving before the start signal, oh, I seem pretty marginal to me. He got a worse start than Tsunoda somehow, even though he allegedly jumped the start. And Mercedes safety car that Mercedes double stacked it. Oh, it looked a bit like Alonso and Hamilton in 2007, because Kimi was just sat in his box and George Russell was behind him. But why was Kimi sat in the box? Because there was so much traffic in the pit lane. But it looked uncannily like Alonso and Hamilton back in 2007, I have to say. But just because the pit lane was so busy. But it's almost like, it's a bit like if you remember when Bruno Senna was racing in Formula 1. If you look through the visor, it just looked like Ayrton Senna. That just looked exactly like Fernando Alonso parking it in the pits. I think, was it Hungary? With Hamilton behind him. But it was just because the pit lane was so busy. In the end, it hasn't really cost Russell, I think. Well, it may have cost Russell to Hajar, actually. Constanza, you're by far the best watch F1. Thank you very much. Feel free to share the stream, everyone. While we're on the safety car, share the stream right now. Share it on Facebook, share it on Reddit, share it on YouTube. Just copy the link, just post it. Take 30 seconds saying join us for the watch along. It's a very dramatic race, which it is. So after this pit stop, there are 50 laps left. So everyone needs to pit after exactly another 25 laps. I don't know how it's going to work here now. So Ocon was able to take that 5-second penalty in the pits, by the way, under safety car. Does safety car laps extend us in? I don't know. I don't know. Joseph says they need to pit again except Lewis because it's an obligatory tyre comp. Everyone's got to pit again, but do the McLarens have to pit twice? That's what I'm saying. Do the McLarens have to pit twice and does Max only have to pit once? That's what I'm getting at. Yes, Lars says, McLaren have to pit 2 times, Max only 1 time. If that's correct, McLaren have really botched this up. Lando being told, so Lando, here's the goal. Really good pace until lap 25. Basically, everyone else will be stopping on lap 32. We know that now. I don't know if that's the case because they pitted earlier. Right, safety car's coming in. So Verstappen's going to be on that fresher tyres on the mediums. Is he going to be all over Lando Norris? Let's see. I think Ocon only needs to pit once again. Maybe Ocon played it exactly right by waiting out that 1 lap further and he took his penalty for free. So here we go then. The restart's underway. I'm actually just looking at the standings now. Norris been told to get close to Piastri. Almost like back in the day, they'd be given a signal by McLaren to go at the same time. Looks like Verstappen's still in P3. Cited loves the complicated maths. Do we have any maths PhD people in the chat, by the way? Is it possible for Max doing a 1-stop? You'd have to say yes, considering they ordered the sprint race, which was like 19 laps on the mediums. So... But Verstappen pitted before 50 laps, right? That's the thing. Verstappen pitted before 50 laps. So he's not going to get to lap 25. That would mean he does more than 25 laps in this tyre. Verstappen's already done 3... Oh, I don't know. He's done 3 laps and there's 47 left. I can't do the maths. I can't do the maths. I don't know if it's going to be like a Schumacher situation where he comes into the pits on 25 and goes over the timing line. Where is the Red Bull garage here? Is it before or after the start-finish line? This is insane maths. And Verstappen can't get it switched on, by the way. Verstappen's 2 seconds behind Lando. What's going on here for Verstappen? Or maybe he knows he's on a completely different strategy where he's not going to be worried by Carlos Sainz behind him. He's going to win this race on strat. Right, intuition said he's good. Yeah, but... Yep. Chat, who in chat thinks Verstappen only has to pit once and the McLarens have to pit twice? Who in chat thinks that's the case? Because if so, Max is running a completely different race right now. He doesn't need to compete on pace here. He doesn't need to compete on pace at all. Football says McLaren has screwed up. Lars believes it. Anyone else believe it? Come on, there's 400 people watching. We must have some mass PhDs. Also, remember to hit the like button, everyone. Let's get those likes up to 500. And make sure to subscribe as well. We can definitely get 100 subscribers. McLaren will do a massive overcut. So McLaren now need to push the pace. Let's see what the pace is going to be saying here on the McLarens. Piastri's already done the fastest lap of the race. Nityam agrees. Aisha, McLaren definitely screwed up. Martin, when Max pit, there were 50 laps left. I would love it, by the way, if Max had just called that by himself and had just knew that if a safety car happens here. But the McLarens, surely they needed to split strategy. Black agrees they messed up. Constant said FI said 25 laps regardless safety car. Gunslinger said, bro, McLaren messed up, I think. Felipe is 25 laps on the tyre, not 2 pit stops. Last Max will conserve his tyres. Simba is classic how McLaren always botched it. Cited they're going to have to pull a massive Arjan, McLaren messed up. Red Squirrel Rebel saying Max has won. No, it's too early to say Max has won. And Joseph saying it's too early to say McLaren screwed up. His safety happens again, change everything. Oh my goodness here. Yeah, so intuition Max can do to lap 33 is written in the stars, isn't it? And then 33 to 58 is 25 laps. Looks like Gasly's been taking driving advice from Project Motor Racing AO. We did see Ben Collins as Striggers on the grid. Let's hope he didn't give Pierre Gasly any racing advice, because that would explain a lot. Yeah, chat, if you can work it out, like let's get the war cabinet going here. If anyone's a PhD in applied mathematics, make yourself known. It's like if you're on a plane. Is anyone a doctor? Okay, so McLaren. Incident involving Ocon reviewed, no further investigation. That might have been something to do with, yeah, failing to serve the time penalty. I think the time penalty might have happened as he was driving into the pits, potentially. But he did serve the penalty in the pits. It's great news for Ocon here, if Ocon's going to gain a free pit stop. So keep an eye on Ocon also. I think McLaren should have just split strategy there, honestly. If I was Lando, McLaren's desire to purportedly treat both drivers equally has screwed both drivers over equally. And frankly, they could lose the championship here. Because didn't everyone behind also do the same? I mean, isn't Carlos Sainz also on a one-stop here? Isn't Antonelli on a one-stop? So Piastri and Lando, they need to gap Antonelli. Otherwise, it's bad news. They're lucky that Russell's out of position. V-neck, brain just melted. McLaren has to sacrifice one of their drivers to prevent Max from winning. It's a great point here. It's a great point. It's a great point. They could sacrifice, but it ain't going to happen. Piastri, do you mind dropping behind Lando and just holding up Max for a bit so Lando can win the race? Not going to go down well. Not gonna be the smoothest team radio message we've ever heard, right? What a race this is. Yeah, I think Verstappen's on a one-stop, Sainz on a one-stop, Antonelli on a one-stop, Alonso on a one-stop, Hajar, Russell, Leclerc, Behrman, Lawson, Tsunoda, everyone else on a one-stop. The only drivers I think not on a one-stop are the McLarens. And even if a safety car happens now, the Piastri and Norris are still going to drop behind, like, Alonso and Hajar, etc., depending on where the safety car is. Lars says Max thinks he's done well. Norris is now worrying about the two-stop rule. He will crumble on the unloan. I think... Martin's saying, yeah, Ocon is definitely safe. Ocon is definitely safe, but he's already a pit stop behind the McLarens. So if the McLarens were to pit now, they come out on the same strategy as Ocon. So, yeah, this is a historic moment we're watching here. And I guess McLaren are in their pit window now. McLaren are in a pit window. They're just going to push it as long as possible. McLaren are going to be desperately hoping for a safety car in the next 9 laps. And are they going to double stack? Chat, no one's talked about this. Are McLaren going to double stack this? Simba, they're pushing. Unbelievable. Just let Lando follow Verstappen. You don't need to be Einstein. I would, if I was Lando, I don't pretend to be a racing genius, but when I'm out there, you've got to make decisions. I would have come in with Verstappen. I would have come in with Verstappen. And I would have left Piastri out to dry there. You know, look at the pace that the McLarens are doing versus Verstappen. Verstappen will be running his delta. And surely they're going to have to double stack. If a safety car happens now, I don't care what McLaren says. If you're one of those drivers, you go into the pits if there's a safety car. But they're going to burn another lap here. They're just burning a lap. How much are they gaining on, like, the real midfield? They're gaining a second a lap on the midfield. Oh my days, they're gaining 2 seconds a lap. We've got an Alonso train. We've got an Alonso train. This is great news for McLaren because Russell and Hajar are in the Alonso train. So Alfonso's doing them a solid here. Russell's poor start is massively significant in this race. I remember I was in Monaco 2 years ago where I've never seen such a big Alonso train as in Monaco. I think he was like 8 seconds off the pace. Welcome F1 fans, good to see you. 12-month membership badge coming in. No, but Norris wasn't going to lose track position because he was only really concerned about Verstappen. So that's what I think. Verstappen's got really lucky here as well with Ocon as well. I don't think it would have taken him too long to get past Ocon, but that's worked out nicely. So Piastri is now a pit stop ahead of Lawson & Co. So Piastri's gonna end up coming out ahead of Alonso. The question is he going to come out behind Antonelli? Let's see. To be honest, the way I think this shakes out is I think this is going to be Verstappen first, Piastri second, Norris third. I think that's how it shakes out. I don't think anyone else has the pace. And they're going to have to hold off McLaren's on fresh tyres. Yeah, the rules will be there. The rules will be there online. If anyone wants to get in the small print, if anyone wants to paste, if anyone can paste those rules in chat, please, 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 paste them in chat. Golden, I believe McLaren are going to sacrifice Piastri for Lando. I mean, what if Lando tries to undercut Piastri here? Where are they to Alfonso? 18 seconds. And they're going 2 seconds a lap faster. 2 seconds a lap faster, chat. They're not hanging around here. And you can see, even Colapinto is about to join the Alfonso train. And JJ, 52 months a member, chat. Please put your claps in the chat there for JJ. A member of this channel for 52 months. That's what you call hardcore support. Please put your claps in the chat there for JJ. That is legendary support. That is huge. JJ's been a member since before Abu Dhabi 2021. Okay? That's how long JJ's been a member for. So, yeah, Alfonso is doing the McLarens a solid here. 6 laps to go before they need to pit. Look at the claps coming in. Yeah, it's a long time. When you put it in those terms, that's a long, long, long time. And no one can get past Alfonso. It's just too difficult to overtake in the DRS train. Even Kimi's 1.3 seconds a lap slower. So by the end of this stint, Piastri's going to come out ahead of Antonelli. So there'll be a pit stop ahead. There won't be a pit stop ahead. They'll be ahead on track position and on the same strategy, but also they're just faster than the Mercedes. So this also shows how fast that McLaren is compared to the other cars. Like, it's ridiculous. Because now you're actually seeing them push. The mask is slipping here. You're seeing them push. What about ride height, chat? What about ride height? Any sparking from these cars? Chat, what about ride height? Someone needs to paste those rules in the chat here. Someone needs to paste them in the chat. 5 laps to go until the McLarens need to pit. 5 laps to go. Antonelli is 17 seconds behind Piastri. What if you have a situation where Lando comes out behind Antonelli and Piastri comes out ahead? Maybe someone can find those rules and paste them. By the way, please hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream and make sure to subscribe as well. Let's get those likes to 500. We want to hit the 500 on this one. It's a very exciting race. Less weight, less bottoming out. Let's see. Also, I think when the tires are when the tires are more worn, right? When the tires are more worn. So if you do super long stints. Yeah, just imagine that. Imagine they're having to push the ride height. Also, I tell you what else is potentially crazy. Okay, if the McLarens pit, and then once the McLarens have pitted, and everyone else is in their window, now there's no. To be fair, there's no window for anyone else because they have to pit on the same lap, and they're all gonna have to double stack, and it's going to be a mess in the pits. It's going to be a mess in the pits here. But after the McLarens pit, if there is a safety car, maybe someone else will decide to pit and they do their last stint on the soft tyre. But there's not really a pit window for anyone else. They all have to pit on the same lap. Why is Alonso holding everyone up? He just does this from time to time, just for the banter, really. Just for the bants. Antonelli 126.5, that's his fastest lap. Piastri 125.8. So Antonelli only losing half a second a lap here, with 4 laps to go. I don't think Lando's going to come out ahead of Antonelli. So we're just 4 laps away from the McLarens running out of time to pit. Yeah, there's going to be chaos in the next pit stop. Absolute chaos. Maybe there's another strategy here, by the way. Maybe there's another strategy. Because you're in the Alonso train, maybe you just pit now. You catch up with the train while everyone's driving slow and you go softs till the end. If you're at Hamilton, maybe you try that in a Hamilton. What's Hamilton got to lose here? Chat? I don't want to pretend I'm better than the Ferrari strategists, but if you're Hamilton, you could switch back onto the McLaren strategy because you're actually in the Alonso train. Everyone else is actually... Everyone behind Alonso has lost the benefit of what they've done. A, because they're all on the same strategy, so there's no net... It's sort of net zero game for them. But also because they're now running at Alonso pace. What about Colapinto just trying it? What about Lance Stroll? Doesn't Hamilton have no more slicks? I'm not sure. Piastri saying front left is struggling a bit now. Carlos Sainz to the 26.6. Piastri 25.9. So Piastri's a second a lap slower than what he was. Antonelli, meanwhile, is catching up with Carlos Sainz. And Alonso 25 seconds behind. Is Norris going to come out ahead of the Alonso train? What do we think about that, chat? What do we think? We're going to be the 23rd lap. Are we going to see Piastri pit 1 lap and Lando the 2nd? What's Hamilton got to lose? His whole legacy. Yeah, there's so much risk on the pit stop here. There's so much risk on the pit stop. If you can't afford to end up in that train, your championship is done on high definition TV. Albon's already on black and white for track limits. Albon's already on black and white. That means he's got no more warnings left. This doesn't affect those. Great news for Max. Max is loving this. It almost feels like Max is on the same strategy as the McLarens anyway. Right. They're going to run out of laps soon. They're going to run out of laps. Piastri's 18 seconds ahead of Antonelli. Still lapping about a second a lap quicker. Alonso sets his fastest lap of the race. So Alonso is picking up the pace here a little bit. No, I think Piastri will come out ahead of the Alonso train. Norris, they're going to need a quick pit stop. Put it like that, I reckon. Put it like that. We could see Piastri pit right now. Norris might need more time. They might want to pit Norris last. Piastri goes by onto lap 24. Lando goes by onto lap 24. They might need to pit Lando last because he might need an extra lap to make sure he gets ahead of the Alonso train. Joe saying it's going to be double stack. Yeah, in fact, there's enough time to double stack. But again, the double stack might cost Lando a bit of time. Like, if you're looking at this purely from a team perspective, I think you pit Piastri this lap. It doesn't really affect him. And you pit Lando next lap, and you give the team the best opportunity to give him a clean pit stop. So let's see. Let's see. The McLaren team are standing around the tyres. Standing around the tyres. There's lots of tyres in the McLaren garage right now. There's a lot of tyres. It's looking like we're going to double stack, boys and girls. It's looking like we're going to double stack. It's looking like a double stack. Chat, write stack or no stack in the chat, whether you think they're going to stack or no stack. Let's see. Yeah, Oscar could ruin it for Lando. Oh my days. Oscar could do an Alonso here. Oscar could two Brutus. Piastri, pit lane. Goes by. Lando. Piastri comes in. Piastri comes in. Lando keeps going. They're doing what I said. They're doing what I said. They're playing the McLaren game. So, Piastri. Now, if there's a safety car here, Lando massively benefits. There's a safety car right now. Piastri's been done over. Piastri's going to come out of the pits behind Antonelli. Here comes Alonso down the pit straight. Screaming down at 300 kilometers an hour. Piastri on pit exit will put the hammer down. Piastri gets out ahead of the Alonso train, but how much? 1.6 seconds. I think Lando was more than 1.6 behind. It's hammer time for Lando here, or he's going to end up in that train. What was the stop like for Piastri? 3.1. David Beckham not happy with it. Okay, so Lando now. This is big moment. This is big moment. Chat, put it in the chat. Is he going to be in the train or ahead of the train? In the train or ahead of the train? Let's see. Big moment here for Lando. Alonso is 25 seconds behind. 26.9 for Alonso. Norris will have got another second at least. He's dropped some purples in there. Cooper says ahead. JJ says in. Lahaya says ahead. Lando Norris needs to pit now. Let's hope he's not going to go over the start-finish line. I don't think he will be, but let's see, because he's technically on lap 26. So let's get the rule book out there. So Verstappen takes the lead of the race. This is it. This is a shakedown. That's how much McLaren messed it up, frankly. And Piastri's well behind Antonelli. So here comes Piastri. And there goes Alonso. I think Lando's going to come out ahead of Alonso, but I just can't tell. I just can't tell, everyone. I just don't know. Alonso. Where is he? Where is Lando? Lando just ahead of Alonso, just ahead of the train. That one extra lap for Lando. That one extra lap has done it for McLaren. The stop was a 2.2. It was a second quicker than Oscar Piastri, mysteriously. So, and Lando comes out less than a second ahead of Alfonso. How was this? Piastri was screaming down the pit straight at 320 kilometers an hour. Lando came out. Alfonso was on the outside. And it was very, very, very close. Very close. Alfonso had a little nibble through turn 1, and Lando had to defend. Lance Stroll doing my strat. There we go. Lance Stroll, the genius, is getting out of the Alfonso train and going on to fresh mediums, and will do some softs at the end. So meanwhile, Verstappen is now 18 seconds ahead of Oscar Piastri. Yeah, did Lando cross the line there? Did Lando cross the line? Did he actually pit on lap 26? We need to get the rulebook out here. I said it could be a Schumacher situation. Remember Schumacher and Silverstone, they had to change the rules. And Piastri putting that hammer down. 24.9 for Piastri. I tell you what, Piastri might be looking at a race win here. He's going to be gunning for Verstappen. He's half a second quicker here right now. Stroll's watching the stream. Yeah, they're sponsored by Stroll. Speeding in the pit lane, under investigation. He was watching the stream. Concentrate on the driving, Lance. Looks like Gasly is on hards, by the way. Looks like. So, we got Verstappen. So, Piastri's going to have to get past Antonelli and Carlos Sainz. But they're all out of sync now. They're all out of sync. Because then Antonelli is going to be on fresher tyres. Because everyone on track has to make one more pit stop. This is fascinating. I'm hearing from chat that Lando is pitted on lap 26. Imagine if they give a penalty for Lando. I'm just checking. Imagine if they give a penalty for Lando for pitting on lap 26. Meanwhile, Stroll has been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which completely ruins his strategy. So nice one, Lance. Good job there, mate. I think we need to double check those rules. What would the penalty be? In Gran Turismo, it's a minute penalty. It's a minute penalty if you don't do the mandatory stop, if you break the mandatory stop rules. In real world Formula 1, I just don't know. I don't know. Surely it's written in there. I don't know. And Piastri saying, Oscar, we can go as far as lap 49 maximum. So as soon as it goes... The McLarens are going to have a pretty tasty safety car window, to be fair. To be fair. And also, given that the way the race is going to be, probably, they'll probably get a free pit stop on the safety car near the... If there's a safety car at the end, they'll also get a free pit stop. And then it'll be Abu Dhabi in reverse, and the McLarens will be on fresher tyres. So safety cars at the end are going to decide this race, and dare I say, the championship. Mods are cracking down. We love to see it. Lap 32. Yeah, get ready, everyone, for lap 32, because we're going to see some double stacks. Who's going to be in trouble with the double stacks here? I mean, Alpine, but frankly, not really an issue. It looks like maybe Ferrari and RB might be the teams that are going to struggle with the double stacks. Obviously, the pit lane's going to be so busy as well. You just might not be able to leave your pit box because there's a car going ahead of you. So, let's see. No, it's going to be way more. If they give a 5-second penalty for pitting a lap later, that is Abu Dhabi 2021 levels of controversy. I would expect a black flag. I would expect a black flag. We know Mohammed Ben Sulayem is on the ground, and as we understand it, what happened in Saudi Arabia with Fernando Alonso, apparently, rumours said, Mohammed Ben Sulayem was able to influence the penalty. So, Sulayem is on the ground here. So, allegedly, anything is up for grabs in terms of penalties. If Christian Horner was still with us here in Red Bull, I guarantee he'd be on the blower to FIA saying they need to have a look at it. Meanwhile, Piastri has caught up with Antonelli. So let's see, will Piastri breeze past Kimi Antonelli here? Remember, this is genuinely for position. Or will he struggle? Let's see. Piastri has so much pace. Looks like Piastri is able to breeze past Antonelli there. And Piastri is now 17 seconds behind Max Verstappen. The jacket was a gift for me, but I think it's from Reese. It's a very nice jacket. I wear it for the like 2 a.m, 3 a.m. races that we do on the channel. So Piastri gets past Antonelli, who have Carlos Sainz next in his sights. It's a long... Piastri was a long way back. He might have sent this. Hang on a second. He's a long way back. Oh my goodness me. Piastri has absolutely launched that into the braking zone. That is a very unusual move. He's like he's driving a different... To me, that looked like a hypercar overtaking a GT3. That's very unusual. I don't think I've ever seen a genuine overtake like that before in Formula 1. That was a very unusual move. Like, Piastri was braking, and Antonelli was braking, and Piastri just continued for miles afterwards in the braking zone. It's a huge move. It was almost, the last time I saw something like that was almost a little bit like Verstappen on Hamilton in Abu Dhabi 2021. Channel D in a honey badger. Leclerc, check every lap. George, line in turn 10. I'm sure he's out. Yeah, I think drivers are going to be getting track limits on the entry to turn 10, opening up the corner. McLaren are showing their true pace in this car here. It's almost like it's being revealed that the pace this car has. Teams never want to show that they've got such a fast car because it then demeans the sport and how fast their drivers are potentially. But we saw it with Mercedes. Now let's see if Lando can do the same on Antonelli. That was such a the closing speeds and stuff. It was so interesting with Kimi and Piastri there. Well, it's quite a fast turn one. By the way, is Verstappen going to pit this lap? No, Verstappen goes around again. So Verstappen's going to pit. If Verstappen pits next lap, then surely Lando has to get a penalty. Because there's 26 laps to go. So with the start or finish line in the pits... Right, let's see if Lando gets through Antonelli as easy as Piastri did. Let's have a look. Antonelli... No. No, he can't. I'm telling you, that Piastri move was generational. That was an insane move by Piastri. That was a world champion level move. That was, dare I say, like Verstappen, Schumacher, Hamilton in the day. They would have all done that move. And Lando didn't do it. Let me, maybe I'll get an onboard look as the Red Bull mechanics get ready. It's going to be chaos in the pits, everyone. Forget murder on the dance floor. It's going to be chaos in the pits here in Qatar. Chat, hit the like button right now. Come on, we're trying to get to 500 likes. We've got 500 people watching. So if everyone hits the like button, we can do it. Let's encourage everyone in the chat to hit it. Make sure to subscribe as well. It's about to be chaos. We think Verstappen's going to jump into the pits here. If Verstappen jumps in here, I think Lando's got a penalty. If Verstappen stays out, Verstappen jumps in. I'm pretty sure Lando may have messed it up. So here we go. Or I may have got it wrong. We don't know. So Verstappen in the pit lane. That means that it will be advantage Piastri and Norris again. Carlos Sainz will jump in. Antonelli will jump in. So Lando's lost a bit of time there, being behind Norris. Is anyone not going to jump in by mistake? Alfonso jumps in. Hajar jumps in. George Russell jumps in the pit. Charles Leclerc pits. Behrman pits. Lawson pits. Sonoda pits. Albon pits. Hamilton pits. Bortoletto pits. Colapinto pits. Ocon doesn't need to pit because he's on a different strategy. Gasly pits. Oh, Ocon's on a smart one here. Ocon might be trying to undercut people or something. And Lance Stroll, his strategy just hasn't worked. Because Lance Stroll needed to basically undercut all of these people. So that hasn't worked for him. Yeah, Piastri in the lead right now. So Piastri in the lead. And he's 7 seconds ahead of Verstappen. But Verstappen doesn't need to pit again. However, if there's a safety car, Piastri and Norris will pit. Piastri and Norris will pit and drop behind Verstappen. So Piastri and Norris have a massive safety car window now. If there's a safety car now, Piastri and Norris, I think, are favourites to win this race over Verstappen because they'll slot in behind Verstappen. So keep an eye on the gap from Piastri and Norris to Antonelli. I don't understand how that's happened, by the way, because Norris was behind Antonelli. Antonelli pits and is now 27 seconds behind Norris. It seems quite extreme. But anyway, that's the way it's happened. Ocon, legendary undercut. Yeah, but remember, Ocon's got to pit next lap as well. Ocon has to pit next lap. He's just getting some time in clear air here. So let's see what happens when Ocon pits. Honestly, I don't think Ocon's going to gain that much here. I think Ocon's just going to go to the back. I might be wrong. Simba, if Verstappen wins, I don't want to hear hindsight this and that. You called it before Verstappen pits on safety car, and there ain't no hindsight McLaren. Let's see. Let's see, Simba, what happens here. So I reckon Ocon... Where's Ocon? Yeah, Ocon's on 24-lap tyres. So Ocon's going to pit now, but I don't think it's going to help him that much. What happened with Kimi? Maybe there was an issue for Kimi. Russell came out of the pits. Oh my god, Russell, maybe an unsafe rejoin and he almost ran over the Aston Martin mechanics, I think. We will see. Incident involving car. Something's been noted. Behrman noted. Unsafe condition. Norris being told this is the bit of the race where we need to be quicker than Max. So what the McLarens need to do here is they need to get a pit stop on Max. They need to get a pit stop on Max, and also bear in mind that the McLarens are going to have faster tyres at the end of the race. To be honest, Lando could box now if he wanted. Where would Lando come out? As soon as Lando's ahead of Carlos Sainz, Lando can choose to box. Leclerc and P10. Chat, what are we thinking of the race? It's a bit of an insane race, isn't it? It's a bit of an insane race right now. Meanwhile, Ocon is in the pits, and as I predicted, he's just come out. It just hasn't worked for Ocon doing that because he lost too much. He lost too much at the beginning. Ocon actually pitted the lap too late. Is Lando behind Antonelli here? I'm not sure what the pit loss is saying, but given that is such a fast, obviously pit straight, there's no complicated things going on. I think the pit loss is quite severe. Yeah, so the McLarens could do a different strategy here. They could go on softs. In fact, they need to, don't they? Because they both are medium. So Behrman's still under investigation for a damaged car. I think it's still in the back, but I want to make this clear. And Lando being told, remember, turn 7 throttle shape. You've gone back to what you're doing before. Lando saying, yeah, I'm trying. I need more help then because I can't do it. That's pretty awkward. And Lando being told how to drive. It's all out in the open now at this point in the season. I think the McLaren pace is so strong, by the way. The McLarens are Piastri's 4/10 quicker than Verstappen. That's going to add up over the course of a race. What happened with Behrman? Oh, Behrman left the pits, I think, before one of the tyres was on. And then I think they had to re-jack him or something. I don't know how Behrman is somehow almost with Ocon, because Behrman was in the pits for about 20 seconds. And they basically did the pit stop with him well out of position. So surely that has to be a pit stop, a penalty for Behrman, because they let him go from the pit box, I think, without all four wheels on properly. I think the McLarens... I think Piastri could potentially still be favourite for this race. 21 laps to go, including a decent stint on the softs. And Piastri's going to come out ahead of Carlos Sainz and then attack on the softs. Chat. Piastri saying we need to work out what the best idea is. Being told in terms of trying to get a safety car or just beating one pace. You can't try and get a safety car. I don't know what you... Chat, put in the chat, who's the favourite to win this race? Who's the favourite to win this race? Welcome, Gaiety, for joining. Let's do a nations check as well. Put your favourite and put what country you're from. Let us know where you're watching in the world and who you think the favourite is. What an interesting race this is. Norris saying, check the car, it could be pretty damaged. I went well off. Norris a second slower that lap. Oh my goodness. Keep an eye on sector times there for Lando. Sector 2 seemed pretty good. Max Verstappen, Slovenia. Tigartha watching from Oman as well. Lars saying Verstappen is favourite now. Absaf, Netherlands, so Max. We've never done this before. We've never combined this with a nations check. Blacker, Croatia for Lando. Jonesy saying Lando damage. Keep an eye on those sector times. Keep an eye on those sectors. But Verstappen is a pit stop ahead of Lando, and he's only 2 seconds behind. Max from South Africa, Lahai, Netherlands, Tobias, Yolanda from Netherlands, Rodney Matz from Malawi. ZX last saying Max got this. If there's a safety car now, this is very Abu Dhabi 2021. I'm seeing what happened with Lando. Presumably if he went off quite a lot, it'll get a track limit. Oh, I actually don't think he got a track limit, he just rode the curb. I'd be surprised if he got a limit there. Sold up Netherlands, Britney Spears, Intuition from UK. Chat. If there's a safety car, does Verstappen box again? If there's a safety car, does Verstappen box again? Dark Cloud, old hards versus fresh softs, yeah. If there's a safety car, does Verstappen box? What do we think? I think the McLarens just have so much more pace than the Red Bull here. So much more pace. Even at this rate, if Piastri boxed now, he'd be like 15 seconds behind Verstappen, but on soft tyres. So is he going to get a second a lap on Verstappen? Yes. Is the live timing right? Yeah. Yes, it is. The dirty air is so bad, though. Chat, what do you do if you're on the Red Bull strategy wall? If there's a safety car, do you box Max as well? Does he have a set of softs? Let's assume he has a set of softs. Poland for Verstappen in there. Max from India. Martin, Netherlands. No. Not of course he will box. It's not of course he will box, because if he doesn't box, he'll get track position. Basically, Max doesn't want a safety car. I think that's what it comes down to, right? It's a bit like Lewis didn't want a safety car in 2021. So who's going to play Latifi here? Where's Lance Stroll? Lance Stroll is in P10. But he's got a box again. So Lance Stroll could do something interesting. Match from Croatia. It's not a two-stop harsh. It's harsh. Jesus. Harsh var Dansri Vitava. It's a. You can't do more than 25 laps on the tyres. If a safety car deploys, it's terrible for Max. And that's kind of fair because it cooked the McLarens. It would also now cook Max. If there's no safety car, I think Piastri... No, not anymore. Look, Verstappen's matching Piastri. So at what point do you go on to softs here? And does Piastri come out ahead of Carlos Sainz? I think Piastri comes out ahead of Carlos Sainz. I think Lando may come out behind Carlos Sainz. I think Carlos Sainz... Does he come out behind Antonelli? Ooh. It'll be on softs though. I think this race finishes Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. I think it's close between Verstappen and Piastri. Welcome Necro, welcome Broth. Broth, clean air and old tyres might be better than a pit. 10-second penalty for Behrman. I think that's quite light actually. It was quite dangerous what I did with Behrman there. Not the first time a Haas has rolled out of the pits with no old tyres, if I remember from Mexico a few years ago. Yeah, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris is ironically what people wanted for the championship. So, well, Daniel Miller thinks I think Piastri's got it. Chat, who do you think? Who's the favourite right now? Piastri or Verstappen? Because Verstappen's closing on Lando. Lando could help Piastri out here. Lando could just go ultimate wingman. Verstappen's now in Lando's dirty air. Yafong Max from Singapore. Necro says Max. Kalpa says Max. Tiga says Max. Lando, sorry. Kalpa says Max. So let's see. Lance Stroll, you are due a pit stop very soon, aren't you? Aren't you, Lance? Bortoletto's on the softs. Bortoletto, you mad lad. Are you going to try and go to the end on soft tyres? Chat, has anyone seen the mad Bortoletto strategy? What's Bortoletto up to? Priya, if Verstappen finishes third, he will chance to win championship again. No, I don't think he does. Piastri, did Piastri get a track limit? Oh, Piastri did the same running over the curb as Lando did. They are really pushing it here. Verstappen is closing on Lando. Does Lando have damage? Does Lando have damage? Verstappen is faster than Norris and Piastri at the moment. Is Bortoletto on a mad one? No, he isn't. Bortoletto's not on a mad one. Bortoletto's quite slow right now. Alfonso! Alfonso with an issue! Do we have a safety car potentially for Alfonso? It looks like Russell and Hajar have gone past. Let's see if Leclerc is going to overtake Alfonso here, because it looks like Alfonso's got a problem. I'm calling it. I have no other information apart from the timing, but I think Alfonso's got a problem here. Look at that sector 2 time for Alfonso. Is Alfonso going to jump into the pit? If he goes around again, does he have a problem? What's Alfonso done? That's unleashed. Russell is such a non-factor in this race, but Russell tries to send it on Hajar and gets it done. So Russell now. Russell, though, he's 50 seconds behind the leaders, and Hajar gets him back. Great battling, it seems. But yeah, Russell, I said yesterday Russell is going to play a pivotal part here, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Russell's start, I think, has been a massive factor in this, because normally he's been a bit quicker than Antonelli, and he'd probably be ahead of Carlos Sainz as well. Yeah, every time people are going to overtake like that, it's going to give a chance of a safety car. At the moment, Norris is going to be 15 points ahead of Piastri. So it's still not that bad for Lando. But that's as it stands at the moment. It's going to be completely flipped. Forget that. It's going to be flipped here, because I think Lando's going to finish third. Dark Cloud saying spots. Piastri boxes now. Piastri boxes. Does he go on to soft tyre? No, he goes on to fresh hards. So Piastri is 17 seconds behind Verstappen, and ironically, Verstappen's being held up by Lando. So with 15 laps to go, can Piastri catch Verstappen? I think it'll be close. I honestly think it'll be close. So Piastri had a fresh set of hards knocking around in the back of the garage. And keep an eye on the Piastri sector times here. He's come out ahead of Sainz and Antonelli. I don't think Lando's going to be so lucky. I don't think Lando's going to be so lucky. Lando's got to keep a cool head because Lando needs to box and get ahead of Antonelli and Carlos Sainz. He's got to do it on track. And he's damn lucky he doesn't have to get past Hajar and Russell as well. It should count as lucky stars, frankly. Fernando Alfonso's done him a solid. Right, let's see if Lando jumps into the pits. That'll obviously unleash Verstappen. Lando... Lando doesn't box. Imagine if Verstappen and Lando come together here. Imagine if Verstappen and Lando were to come together. That's a possibility we haven't seen. Meanwhile, Piastri's half a second quicker in Sector 2 alone. Still 17 seconds off. What's going on here then? Maybe Lando wants to go on softs. Maybe Lando wants to go on softs. What in the papaya rules is Lando? Can someone get out of the papaya rule book? Because I don't remember seeing. Maybe this is an annex or something. I don't remember seeing this one. The logical explanation is that Norris is helping Oscar Piastri. That's the logical explanation. But I almost... someone needs to check papaya rules. By the way, Piastri is going more than a second a lap quicker than Verstappen at the moment. Norris now pits. That's going to unleash Verstappen. Let's see whether Norris comes out ahead of Sainz or not. But Piastri, keep an eye on this lap time. This could be generational. If we're talking 22... Verstappen's in trouble. Is it going to be a 22? 22.9. 22.9. Game on. Game on. Game on. Game on. Norris comes out behind Antonelli and Carlos Sainz. So he's got a bit of work to do here. He's got a bit of work to do. As it stands, if you look at the championship standings now, this is as ugly as it gets for Lando Norris. It doesn't get any more ugly than this. And a safety car here just shakes it all up. Goodness me. No, safety cars will massively influence... Don't trust me, a safety car would massively influence this because Piastri would get past Verstappen. Chat, get your flights booked for Abu Dhabi. Get your notifications. Make sure to subscribe right now if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification, hit the like button. Because we're going to go to Abu Dhabi, everyone. At this rate. At this rate. Black and white flag for Russell. And remember, keep an eye on those black and white flags. Keep an eye on those black and white flags, everyone. Sir, we are going to Abu Dhabi. Get those tickets printed. Someone call up Ryanair. Chat. We're going to Abu Dhabi. Get your tickets ready. Get those tickets ready, everyone. We're going. Let's do it. It's happening. It's going down to the wire. Lars is confused now. What's confusing you? Or you're co-fussed. Someone get Spirit Airlines and get us tickets. Bro, this year's been crazy. We crowdfund for me to get tickets to go to Abu Dhabi. I am actually free. Verstappen winning the session again. What happens if it's a tie? If it's a tie, it goes back to count back and stuff like that. Sainz, I think Norris will struggle to pass Antonelli with the pace we're doing. I know that's Sainz on the radio, but Lando... Oh my goodness. Maybe Lando won't get it done. Yeah, get that jet too. Maybe Lando won't get this done. Did Lando get another track limit or maybe first track limit? Oh my goodness, Lando almost lost it. Lando's lap time, a 1:23.6. Well, he's going to catch him at that rate because he's half a second quicker. But it's one thing to catch. I think they've retired Behrman, by the way. Absolute Lando disaster class. Lando's hands are probably shaking right now. This happens. Funny things happen at the end of Formula 1 seasons. Formula 1 seasons like marathons. Sainz, yeah, guys, let me to go for it. Push flat out. Yeah, Sainz wants to get himself a podium here. Go for it, Carlos. Go for it for Williams. So he might go, and if the tyres fall off, it's like, okay, well, we went for it. If anyone else has run a marathon, it's like those last few miles of a marathon, weird things happen, you know? It's like a Formula 1 season. The rules, the physics, the logic kind of goes out. This is giving Brazil vibes. Yeah, if only we were going to Sao Paulo next. Max isn't going to pit again. Max is not going to pit again. Piastri, meanwhile, I think Piastri's not going to go for the win. Piastri's looking after the ride height, I reckon. And Lando, he's got to risk the ride height probably. He's got to risk getting a DQ if he wants to get after these lads. So 1:23 dead. He's a second a lap quicker than the drivers ahead of him. He's going to have quite a few laps to get this done. Why was Matt's safety car? Max didn't pit 3 times. Only pitted twice. I think. Did he? I can't remember. I'm losing track. He got a free pit stop. The fact that Piastri's way faster than Max in Sector 3 shows a difference in quality of both their cars. Broth, Max needs the gap for safe pit, but I don't know if he has the pace. Max doesn't need to pit again, just to make this clear. Max doesn't need to pit again. No, unfortunately, Felipe, I don't think you understand. By the way, we're not connected to any commentary here. Like, this is always us assessing it, but I'm pretty sure Max doesn't need to pit again. Okay? I don't think Max needs to pit again. And this isn't me getting fed some producer or something. This is just me sitting here in my room as a guy who has done a lot of racing. So I don't think Max needs to pit again. Honestly, we should do our own form. We should do our own team in like some championship, right? And we can all be on the pit wall. Safety car here would ruffle things up. Lando, last lap, 23.3. He is now 1.3 behind Antonelli. He will be within DRS soon. Felipe, I'm with you on this. Yeah, don't worry. There's going to be lots of. It's chaos here on the pit wall. It's chaos. We're all. It's the longest pit wall ever. There's 649 of us on the pit wall. Port Chop says Lando and Piastri have lost the championship. I don't think so. I think it just closes it up. But let's see what happens. This is as ugly as it gets for Lando. By the way, if there's a safety car, there'll also be cars behind the McLarens. So right now... Oh gosh. I wanted to have a look at the... what was going on with standings, but basically it's ugly for Verstappen at the moment. By the way, if one of the McLarens had pitted, they'd probably be leading this race, but Norris's pace has not been good. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an issue with Norris's car, but let's see. He's got Anthony in the sight. He's down the pit straight. DRS wide open. Norris 320. He's not that much quicker than Antonelli. He's not that much quicker, and he probably won't be able to pass. And Norris needs to do some World Championship moves here. I think we've seen a World Championship move from Piastri in this race. Norris needs to do one now. If there's a safety car, it would be Kimi hitting Norris. I don't know if we're papaya rules or not, but Lando just wasn't able to get close to Antonelli. I'm telling you, that move Piastri did was insane. That is an insane move Piastri did. Honestly, potentially move of the season. It was such an important move as well in the context of everything. Lance Stroll is in the pit, surely. Yeah, Lance Stroll's going to pit with his weird strategy. Lance Stroll's going to come out here ahead of Piastri. Lance Stroll's going to come out ahead of Piastri. Getting Latifi vibes. Getting big old Canadian vibes here. Norris will have another go at Antonelli, but there's 7 laps left and he's going to try and get Carlos Sainz as well. Where is he behind Antonelli? He's 6/10ths behind. DRS wide open. How much faster is he? Is he going to get up to 330 Ks? No, he can't. He's not going fast enough. He's not going fast enough. Sainz, I think the key is to open the gap now to Norris as much as possible. I don't think Norris has got that straight line speed over Antonelli. Maybe he's got some aero damage or floor damage or something, but he needs to get way past 320 kilometers to get an overtake done. He needs to be 330 kilometers down there with DRS wide open. Again, I don't think that's a Lando problem. I think that's actually an issue with his car. Let's see what Piastri's doing down the straight with no DRS, you know? If Max does win this season, it'll be the best comeback ever. I think Lando's got damage, honestly. You know, look at the speed traps down the straight. Ocon's got DRS wide open. Ocon's going up to 327. So he's approaching 330. Right, let's see what Piastri does now. Piastri might get some DRS from Stroll, right? The lap car. So Piastri, just in the slipstream, is going 312, 313. I think, and Lando with DRS now. Lando with DRS, I don't think he's going to go faster than 325, but we'll see. Lando with DRS, 318, 322, 326, 328. Okay, he's approaching 330 now, but still not close enough. Still not close enough. Yeah, I think Lando's got floor damage. Interestingly, Piastri hit the same curb in almost exactly the same way. Keep an eye on the Carlos Sainz pace, though. The Carlos Sainz pace. Remember, these tyres are being artificially shortened stints. Like, the tyres could go longer. I don't think they're running the tyres to their limit here at all, these hard tyres. It's all artificial. But yeah, someone's going to look at the strategy on the McLaren pit wall. Sainz potential damage on the floor is the front wing is okay. So Sainz is reporting damage now. 124.5. Both Antonelli and Sainz are going. Antonelli and Norris are going faster than Sainz. This could be some three-way battle here. This is going to be very exciting because I think Sainz might have damage. Yolanda Versteeg, who often calls these things correctly, says, I don't think Norris will pass both Sainz and Antonelli. I think they're all three are going to come together. As in, like, they're going to close up on the track, and I think anything could happen. I think Norris could overtake both of them. Because I think Antonelli might struggle to get past Sainz, and Norris might get past both of them. Let's see. Meanwhile, Piastri's just chilling. I don't even think Piastri wants to get past Lance Stroll. And Verstappen's now hitting some big traffic here. Verstappen's getting some mad traffic. Carlos Sainz is half a second slower than Antonelli and Norris. Oh, I just imagined if George was in the mix here. Carlos Sainz going for that Williams podium. This is insane. This is insanity. Even I didn't predict this. And I thought something like this would happen. But I didn't predict it would be Lando struggling to get past Kimi and Carlos. Carlos Sainz is struggling big time. Remember, it looks like Williams were trying to extend their push their pace more than they were really comfortable with. You know, but Williams, for me, it's 100% worth Carlos Sainz risking the podium. Even if there's a 20% chance of the podium, it's worth risking it if the worst he's going to get, realistically, is a P5. You know what they say, it's Formula 1. That is indeed what they say. Antonelli's going to be in DRS. He's not in DRS yet, interestingly. Lando's in DRS. 327, 329. Lando's getting a little bit faster. Maybe there's a double slip going on. Now, this is going to be very interesting. I think this is good news for Lando. Obviously, it might not seem it, but Carlos Sainz is slowing. But Lando might need to think on his feet here. Lando might need to go a little bit freestyle. A little bit of five-a-side, a little bit Ronaldinho here. Because it's not going to be, obviously, a straight one lap overtake DRS, next lap overtake DRS. I think he might need to just do a bit of freestyle. I think it might be a little bit of freestyle here. Meanwhile, Lance Stroll's on the soft tyre. So Lance Stroll's actually faster, essentially, than Piastri at the moment. It's quite funny. Verstappen's having to get past traffic, which is a bit risky. Because they're all kind of fighting each other. And there's going to be 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. Verstappen can probably just chill there, to be honest. He can probably just chill there. Imagine if Colapinto crashes into him. Famous last words. This has been a great race, everyone. It's been a great race on the strategy. Probably one of the best strategy races we've ever covered on this channel. Cooper is so happy right now. So Norris again, I wasn't even checking, but can't get past Antonelli. Carlos Sainz could be doing his old teammate here. Bit of an issue, as Piastri does get past Stroll now. Verstappen's got past Ocon, so he's got to get past Colapinto and Bortoleto. I'm pretty sure Russell might have been carrying some damage since the beginning, potentially. They haven't actually got that far past Alfonso. And Charles Leclerc hasn't got past Alfonso. So it's great for Alfonso P8. Cooper, which driver I'm a fan of? I like a lot of the drivers. I like exciting races, more importantly for me. Verstappen here. Surely he'll get past Colapinto on the straight. Colapinto does a sensible thing, which he's doing. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go, and Verstappen has got a little bit of safety car luck, like he had in Abu Dhabi 2021. Lawson, meanwhile, gets past Hajar. Hajar spun. Hajar spun. Hajar spun. Safety car. Safety car. Hajar in big trouble. Hajar in big trouble. Hajar in big trouble here, everyone. Safety car neutralizes this race. Hajar struggling. And Norris, 2 laps to get past Antonelli and Sainz. Otherwise, you got to feel for Lando, really. Hajar in big trouble. Verstappen gets past Hajar. Hajar's going to try and nurse it back to the pits. There'll be yellow flags here, presumably, or some warnings. Oh, Hajar's really slowing now. It's a yellow, just a yellow. It might really close it up with Sainz, Antonelli and Norris. I think this is going to come down to the last lap, really. Oh, Antonelli with a problem. Norris has got past Antonelli. Has there been another puncture here? Has there been... This is huge in the championship. Crucial championship points for Lando Norris. Gets past Antonelli. Antonelli with a big problem. And he's got 1 lap to get past Carlos Sainz, but he's not going to be in DRS. Can Carlos hang on to the podium? Meanwhile, Lance Stroll just memeing it, goes into the pits. Antonelli, what's happened here? Is it a mistake for Antonelli? Hajar will go into the pits. Antonelli, the rookie, looks like he's made some sort of mistake. Unleashes Lando Norris. What does Lando have in the bag now? He's got no more DRS, though. Can Carlos Sainz hang on? Drama in the last laps. Meanwhile, Verstappen just going to stick behind Bortoleto. Goodness me, we've all enjoyed a great race here. We've all enjoyed a fantastic race, I have to say. That is setting us up for Abu Dhabi. Norris a 5-second time penalty. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing track limit warnings. I mean, it could be one where they look at them all after the race with cameras. But Max Verstappen here is going to win this race sensationally from a terrible sprint qualifying to winning when it mattered. Max Verstappen wins the 2025 Qatar GP, and Oscar Piastri finishes second. And it's not going to be Lando Norris third unless Carlos Sainz messes up in the last corner. Carlos Sainz, even more sensational, I say, is going to take a third place for the Williams with Alex Albon all the way down in P11. Carlos Sainz takes P3 and it's Lando in P4, but Lando did get some points back from Kimi Antonelli. Max for president. You can't say that, Jermaine. I disagree. This has been a fantastic race. This race has flown by for me. What a race this is, especially given the context and the drama. Verstappen is P1. Now, even if Lando or someone else were to get a penalty, everything is gapped out. If Verstappen were to get a 5-second penalty, he's still going to be ahead of Piastri. Same for Piastri. Same for Norris. Same for Antonelli. Same for Russell. There's big old gaps. Driver of the day, Sainz. Yeah, I think Carlos Sainz here has pulled an absolute blinder. An absolute blinder. As it stands, you want to know, Verstappen is now P2 in the championship. And he is just 12 points behind. He's just 12 points behind. How's he done that then? And Piastri's 16 points behind. Piastri, even though Piastri's beat Norris here, Piastri's now behind Verstappen in the championship. How's this happened? It's all about the safety car. We called it in chat. If I was Lando there, I'm going into the pits. I'm going into the pits. I'm going into the pits in that situation. See, fortune favours the brave. There's so much weight. There's so much gravitas at this point of the season because you've raced all around the world. You've risked your life in these cars. And it comes down to... And the calls have an incredible magnitude. The decision to pit or not pit, you can't look at it in just the decision of the moment. You have to take all of the gravity of the whole season and last season. And it's huge. Carlos Sainz's brother, who I think is his agent, and Carlos Sainz Sr. there in the Williams garage. Huge for Williams. Welcome, Cal Prout. Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone, Coatley. What a... Abu Dhabi... Now, I think I'm doing something with a big brand on the Friday, I think, yet to be confirmed. An in-person event around racing, which could be connected, I don't know. But I think on the Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be... I might just do a 24-hour stream, why not? Why not? This is unbelievable. Yeah, Piastri still did everything he needed to do, and let's not forget, Piastri dominated Lando here. But I still think Lando favourite for the championship. Lando's not even on the podium. We won't get to hear Lando in the cool-down room. Thanks, Porky. No way Max won and is just 12 points away. So if you win, you get 7 points on the leader. I tell you what Max needs in Abu Dhabi. Yeah, that's Yuki Tsunoda's music. Max needs Yuki Tsunoda. And if I were Red Bull, I just do like... I just would put a new engine in everything and just not tell the FIA. Wow. Chat, what are your thoughts on that race? What are your thoughts on that race? Max Verstappen. I'm honoured to say I've raced Max Verstappen. Because... And I've raced Lando as well, to be fair. But like... With Verstappen, you just feel like he is the best racing driver in the world. And he got the luck of the draw here. But I feel like he could have beaten Lando anyway, to be honest. I feel like he might have beaten Lando anyway.
Full concentration, anything can happen still.
It's a... I think it's bad news for Piastri. Because Piastri has missed out on getting a 25 points here. That's what's happened with Piastri, really. Tsunoda snitching on Behrman. And Lando's already walking to the motorhome, by the way. Lando's out of the car. He's already walking to the McLaren motorhome. Two races to go, you asked what Max's chance were. I think I've been pretty bullish on Max's chances apart from after Austria. And maybe Spain as well. I can't remember. Where did he have he had a bad race somewhere. I can't remember where he had a bad race. But Max, if you look at the diagrams of him coming back, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, Tiga says it's crazy. Yeah, put some permutations in the chat. The fireworks are going in Qatar. Carlos Sainz on the podium again for Williams. Huge. He's getting claps from all the other teams as well. But Verstappen just looking like a G. Was it Hungary? Oh, man. You got to think of Lando with that DNF in Zandvoort as well. And also think of Piastri, the first race of the season when the rain came down and he ended up on the grass. Think how many points Piastri lost there. It's just unbelievable. Verstappen in Austria getting taken out by Kimi. This is a thing. When you win championships, these things happen. Every driver in the top 3 of this championship has had their deal of bad luck. It just happens over the course of a season. Race was decided by McLaren's bad strategy again. And when Piastri let Norris through, what, in Monza? I mean, we said, was it in Monza? It's like, what the hell are these guys doing, man? Hajar still doesn't see it. Tiga feels bad for Norris and Piastri. Apparently, this race was great. Kimi secured his spot for next year with a Mercedes powertrain, but a Mercedes McLaren. Something I can't believe how bad Ferrari is. McLaren are very lucky that Ferrari dropped off the pace here. Well, I'm going to let you know what Piastri's saying in the post-race. To Matt's first. Still in the game. Saying they made the right call as a team. You get your rubber the green like Max did in Abu Dhabi 2021. I just think surely Max Verstappen is favourite for Abu Dhabi to win the race and get a 7-point lead, and therefore Norris. So much pressure on Lando. So much pressure, and this is before we get into ride heights and everything like that. Only way Norris doesn't win next week is DNF. We will see. Chat, we're going to be streaming next weekend for sure. Make sure to join us. We might do some long streams and stuff. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, really. Piastri, sometimes it's about coming strong at the right time, and Piastri just looks like he kind of like things weren't going his way, but he just locked in. He didn't fall apart. Isn't Abu Dhabi a balanced circuit though? Yeah, but so many things can happen. Lacka was hoping for a calm final race. Are we all going to be here next weekend, by the way? Are we all free for the? Are we all free for the finale? 12 points needed for Matt. I mean, you got to. How has Oscar got so far off? How's Oscar got so far off? It would have been chat. It would have been better. Would it have been better for Piastri to come for Piastri? Would it have been better for Piastri to come first and Lando second? Would that have been a bigger catch-up for Piastri? But I just, you know, given that Piastri won the sprint and got pole for the race, pole for the sprint, right? So Piastri's had a perfect weekend. Pole sprint race, win sprint race, pole race, and his only bit has been he's got a second in the race. He's still 16 points behind. So I just can't help feeling that Piastri's been done by McLaren here. Like I just feel like Piastri deserved to close up much more. Hajar 5 points from second. Yeah, so it would have been 14 points. And I actually think on flat pace, maybe Verstappen might have beaten Lando. We don't know. So what happened with Kimi? Oh, Kimi got it. Oh, Kimi ran wide. Kimi ran wide. Kimi made a huge mistake and ran wide on turn 10, which what everyone's been doing on track limits. Lando saw his chance and went for it. Welcome Jordan Caitlin as well. Silverstone was a turning point for Oscar's confidence to on track catch up. Yeah, Silverstone with that penalty as well. Goodness me. Nah, Kimi just Kimi just cracked there, to be fair. And that's also hurt Piastri. But how likely is it next race that you're going to have cars in between Piastri and Lando? I don't think it's that likely. This has been quite unusual that there's been another car in between them. Hajar, pressure on the young lad, nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, but people have been saying about like the by the Hajar as well, getting that puncture. Oh my days! People putting Kimi in like rookie of the year, but that is a rookie mistake. That is a rookie mistake. If that makes sense. Like, yeah, nothing against Kimi, and I think he's had a great season. But the point I was making yesterday is that he's not had a rookie season like Hamilton had, for example. People are like, yeah, but Hamilton, etc. in the GOAT conversation. Yeah, that's true, but we're thinking we want to see rookies that are going to be in the GOAT conversation in the future. So Ready wasn't their strategy, was not pitting on safety car. Yeah, but that is their strategy though. First corner Abu Dhabi will be a nail biter, yes indeed. Yeah, let's see what Mr. Ben Sulayem is in town. Let's see what happens. I'll try and listen into the podium, the cool down room. Much talking. Norris's qualifying really cost him as well, because P2 turned into P3 very quickly. By the way, chat, in all seriousness, was Norris ever faster than Verstappen? Because Norris ended up finishing a pit stop behind Verstappen anyway. And Verstappen didn't need to push at the end. I genuinely think Verstappen was just faster than Lando. Just generally. Leaving aside it. So I think, yeah. Yeah, Hamilton isn't an exception, but I'm looking for those new exceptions. And I think Hajar's had a great season. Mr. Badshot will Norris fumble. Well, I think Verstappen might have beaten Norris on pure pace. Even though you see Verstappen's fastest lap was a 23.4, Norris was a 23.1. There was they did an extra pit stop, McLaren, so they're able to run a bit faster. What's crazy is that Carlos Sainz, with a fastest lap that was 7/10 slower than Norris, was able to finish ahead of Lando. Yeah, Lars says Norris is threat. Honestly, I think the worrying thing here for Lando is that he just didn't have the pace full stop. He just full stop didn't have the pace. So, you know, if the Mercedes turn up in Abu Dhabi... So what, can I just run some maths? What happens next weekend if Verstappen wins and Norris comes P4? So you got Verstappen, Piastri, and let's say there's some other weirdness and Russell finishes ahead of Norris. What happens if Verstappen wins and Norris is fourth? And also, what happens if Piastri wins and Norris is fourth? What happens there? If Norris in P4 loses 13 points and championship over, so Piastri needs 16. So Piastri's in big trouble here. Piastri's in big trouble. I think Piastri got done by McLaren's strategy. I think one of the biggest stories here is actually that McLaren's fumble has really done over Oscar. So, very specific question. If Oscar had won this race and Lando had come second and Piastri finishes first in Abu Dhabi and Lando finishes fourth, would Oscar win or not? No, you know, no, but what if Piastri had won this race and Lando had come second? Do you see what I'm saying? Because if McLaren had pitted their cars on the safety car, I think Oscar would have won this race. I actually think Lando probably would have come third, but let's say Lando comes second. So that would be he'd have 2 more points. Would they be equal on points? Would they be equal on points then? And Piastri would be winning the last race. So because at the moment Piastri, Lando, and Verstappen have all won the same amount of races, which is crazy. Hang on, I need to have a look at the points difference. F1 standings. So Oscar's 16 points behind. If he had finished first here and Lando second, he would have got a 2 more point difference. Let's just leave Verstappen out of the equation. So he'd be 14 points behind. But if Oscar wins in if Oscar then won in Abu Dhabi and Lando was fourth, Oscar would only gain 13 points, so he'd be 1 point difference. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Ooh. Ooh. Let's talk about Max a second. Let's talk about Max. So Max is 12 points behind almost. Oh my days. Yeah, so if Max wins and Lando finishes P4, Max wins the thing. Yeah, they should do this in schools. Instead of doing like algebra, just do this. Oh, they put I can't remember her name, but they put the strategy lady from Red Bull on the podium. I think she deserves it. She absolutely nailed it. That's also a little bit like Red Bull just pointed out to McLaren. Oh man, Verstappen has nailed it here. Imagine there was a fastest lap point as well, still. I don't think I like how they got rid of fastest lap points. But Piastri can let Norris through. Yeah, Piastri. No, you're right. You're right. Oh my god, that's the biggest thing, right? If Piastri's in P3, he can let Lando through. My brains. I actually got brain freeze. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll make a quick video for Formula Fan TV, everyone. If people don't know Formula Fan TV, subscribe now. This is my motorsport channel on YouTube. We did one on the Lance Stroll Genius yesterday. And I'll make a video and you can check my maths. So this is Formula Fan TV, everyone. But would he? No, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. If Max is P1 and Norris is P4, Max wins the championship. Unless Piastri slows down. That's a great point. I'm going to make a video on it right now. Alright, thank you so much everyone for joining us today. It's been a great... Honestly, I think one of the best... I think Singapore 2023 was great, wasn't it? But this is right up there with Singapore 23. So thanks so much. Please do leave your like on the way out. Make sure you're subscribed. And make sure to subscribe to Formula Fan TV, because I'll make a video on there right now. And we might do some more. We did a midweek Formula 1 live stream, if you didn't know, on Formula Fan TV, just talking about the championship. So we might do that again on Wednesday. Might do it on Wednesday. All right, everyone. Unbelievable.